At this time, will everyone please stand for the invocation to be given by Katie Elliott, a senior at McMinn County High School, and remain standing for the national anthem to be performed by the McMinn County Marching Band.
Please join me in a moment of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and everything you have done. I pray that you keep a hedge of protection around these players, coaches, and fans tonight. Allow each of us to have good sportsmanship throughout the game and act in a manner that glorifies you. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
And welcome back once again to McMinn County High School. We're just moments away from the start of this ball game. The Wildcats and the McMinn County Cherokees in this non-region ball game from Athens, Tennessee. A beautiful night here. The Oak Ridge fans are filing in. I see the Wildcats have started their way down from the high school wearing their all-white jerseys, white football pants, and a cardinal stripe. The McMinn County Cherokees will make their appearance here in a few short moments. Alex Myers has joined us here at Athens, Tennessee. It's always fun to come down here. You talked about this last week. It's kind of a fun trip, and the last two times we've been down here, last year a blocked field goal, the Wildcats win the ball game. 2 years ago when we were down here, the Wildcats had a chance to win the ball game and they fell short at the 1 yard line. You might remember Hayden Tarwater running to the one, got tackled there, and the McMinn County Cherokees won that ball game. So we've had some barn burners down here.
Yeah, we've had a lot of games, and it does not seem like there have been many that weren't really, really close and down to the wire late into the ball game in the fourth quarter. So expect nothing aside from this. From that tonight. And one thing you know about McMinn County as a player, as a coach, even when I was in high school, it doesn't matter what players here, the tradition and the sort of mantra, they're going to play tough. McMinn County's going to play tough. They're going to play hard. They're not going to quit. And things are going to be, to put it nicely, chippy at times. And so as an Oak Ridge player, you have to come in, and I think these coaches have probably prepared these guys. They know that coming in. So you can't let it get into your head. You can't start retaliating if there's a little bit of a late shove. You can't feed into that. Again, expect a hard-nosed game. I don't ever expect anything easy when you come down to McMinn County.
Captains for the two teams are walking out to midfield. The Wildcats are massing behind our sign to the right. And the good news is, since the pandemic, when we've come down here, I've not seen the Native American on the horse. We're about to see that horse come onto the field here at McMinn County. Have you ever seen that before?
I have, but it's been maybe early 20-teens. I mean, I think I was in high school the last several times. I'm thinking back to, T. Higgins, Darrell Middleton, those guys, when they were down here. I don't think they did it then, and that was a couple years before COVID. And, David, one thing, since we're playing them in the regular season, which is sort of a rarity, it seems like it's always the playoffs, will they get to come up to Oak Ridge? Because I don't know in my life if I've ever remembered them actually playing at Blankenship. It's always down here.
It's been several years, to be honest with you, as the Wildcats come onto the field here. While we have a moment here, the horse is about to come onto the field here at Athens, Tennessee. Why don't you run down the starting lineups for the ball game? And here comes the horse sporting an American flag, walking backwards. They're waiting for the Cherokees to come onto the field.
Yes, sir. Let's start on defense. Up front, it's Elijah Bradley, 6'4", 223-pound senior. Nose guard, number 60, Tim Walters. He's a 6 foot, 306-pound sophomore. Next up, the defensive end on the other side, number 76, T-Ray Threet, 6'3", 300-pound junior. The linebacking core consists of Ashawn Knowles, Bryce Dorsey, and J.T. Gromley. At the jag position, Price Davis back inserted into the starting lineup after he missed the first game or two of the season. Brandon Hayward and Valon Henderson, your cornerbacks, and at safety, Izzy Mitchell and Dallas Frent. Special teams, it will be Eli Pearson, number 15, the 6'1", 151-pound sophomore. He will be kicking and punting for the Wildcats as the Cherokees race onto the field. The horse does as well. You want to do the offense, Dave? Or
no, we'll do that in a second. I just wanted to – I write all of our camera guys. We have like 4 camera guys with us, and I wrote on the instructions, don't get run over by the horse, and didn't explain what that meant to him. I think I was watching Josh as the horse ran by. Even a Texan's a little bit intimidated by that horse.
Well, we'll have to tease him after that. On the offensive end, up front, the Big Uglies, number 77, Jared Bafford at at right tackle, excuse me. He's had a really, really nice season for the Wildcats, just a sophomore. Next up, right guard, number 74, Elijah Young. Center, number 69, Malachi Bonner. He's a junior. Left guard, number 66, Kanan Hickson. He's a senior. And then at left tackle, the all-important position, number 62, Ethan Eubanks. He's a big fella as well, 6'6", 224. just a junior. At quarterback, number 1, Blaine Stansberry, 6 foot, 184-pound sophomore. At tailback, it's DeJavis Dozier. He wears number 22. He's 5'9", 157 pounds. He's a senior. At wideout, Oak Ridge will go 4 deep in the starting lineup. Number 13, Brandon Hayward, the 6 foot, 182-pound senior. Next up, it's sophomore, number 2, Will Presley. Senior, number 3, Almani Rimbert, and wide receiver, a freshman, number 7, Valen Henderson.
The Wildcats won the toss, have deferred to the second half, so it'll be Eli Pearson to kick off. Well, the Wildcats, they'll be kicking from left to right if you're listening to us on the radio. We're also on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. We're on prepradio.com. We're on Oak Ridge Schools Television, Channel 15. My name is David Clary, along with Alex Myers. Mike Sheehan is with us. Kason Robinson with us. John Ulrich, Josh Frazier, Caleb Riker. Brian Bennett at the station. Here's the kickoff of the ball game. High end over end kick. It's going to be returnable. Fielded at the 5, to the 10, straight up the middle to the 15, and trying to get outside, trying to get wide to the 20, and he slips and falls at around the 25-yard line. Looked like Will Presley was there just in case, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the McMinn County Cherokees. McMinn runs the wing T. Alex, the Wildcats have seen that, ran that for several years. It's a little bit of a hybrid wing T as they'll come up from the shotgun, but they like to run the ball. They want this to be like we've seen in other games. They want Oak Ridge's offense on the sideline over there and make it a quick game.
Man, Oak Ridge's defense is going to try their best to keep that from happening. Oak Ridge has played really, really well all year from the defensive end. 2 things to keep an eye on. McMinn County always seems to have a strong running game and always seems to have a strong kicking game. We'll see how that fares tonight.
First down, 10 yards to go, just underway here. The Cherokees hand it off to the back, and he's hit at the line, moves forward for a gain of about a yard or so. Malik Howard makes the stop for the Wildcats. Oak Ridge, even their all-white jerseys, McMinn County, and as Alex said, we've been down here the last several times. They're wearing their all black and gold, very traditional uniforms, almost the same uniforms we always see them in for years and years. This tradition of playing McMinn County began in 1949. Believe it or not, Alex, this is the 36th time we've played them.
Wow, and they've been playing them a lot, but like I said, in my lifetime, it always seems like it's a really meaningful playoff game, but we'll see. Hopefully the Wildcats will have a good game plan tonight. Second down.
From the 28-yard line of McMinn County, second down, 6 yards to go. Hand off to the back, and he slips a tackle and moves the ball shy of a first down by about a yard. I thought Tim Walters had him initially. He was able to get slipped by him and move the ball up officially just about a half a yard away from the 35-yard line, and that is what they need for a first down.
A couple things to keep in mind here, David, and I know you think of Oak Ridge typically anywhere in Knox County they play. Now at Blankenship Field, obviously it's turf. This is real natural grass here. I haven't seen a lot of slipping. It's been very dry, so it shouldn't be a huge issue. But on that first return, the return man did slip when he got near the sideline, near the out-of-bounds marker. So something to keep an eye on is how will the footing be tonight?
They call it a first down here, but he's short of the line to make. The PA announcer said first down, but he is still short of a line to make a first down as the Cherokees are substituting. You see that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't quite. Again, David, like we were talking about with the coaches, you've just got to prepare to be a chippy game.
Handoff goes to the man who moves the ball across the 40 up to the 44-yard line before the stop is made by J.T. Gormley. Big hole right up the gut. The Wildcats give up 9 yards on the first down play. It's second down and about a yard and a half to go for a first.
Well, based off the last spot, they may only be about a yard away from a first.
Most definitely. They're moving right to left here on a beautiful night from Athens, Tennessee. The Cherokees, and they're going to take as much time off the clock as they possibly can. They're in no hurry to come to the line of scrimmage.
No, not at all, and I think that's going to be probably a consistent strategy for just about every team we play this year.
Second down, we'll call it a yard and a half to go. Handoff goes this time, nothing. J.T. Gormley and company, the white shirts are all over him in the backfield. Walters was there. Price Davis was there. The Wildcats, good stop there. It's a loss of a yard on the play.
And they really needed that after giving up, about 8.5 yards on first down. Oak Ridge needs to be better on the first and second down. That time they made up for it. Nice stop. Still very, very manageable position. 3rd and a short 2 here for McMinn County. And you're creeping towards midfield. If you're McMinn County, do you gamble? Is this 4-down territory if you don't?
Play is halted. Let's see if it's an official's timeout. There seems to be a flag down at around the 50-yard line. I don't know if it's a sideline warning. I didn't see an official. He comes over and says it's sideline warning against the Wildcats. And we've had a couple of those. And I've been on the sidelines before with our coaching staff, and they'll tell them to get all the way back as far as they possibly can. But they get anxious, they get excited, and
they do. And I'll honestly with you, Dave, you've been on the sidelines here at McMinn County, particularly on the away sidelines. There's just not a lot of room. I mean, it's only about 6 or 7 yards deep. So by the time you get your equipment, the benches, you got to be 2 yards back. I mean, there's not a lot of room to operate.
3rd down, 2 yards to go. Actually, he lost a yard there, but they gave him a generous spot. Hand off to the back again, and he's pushing forward, and that pile moves across the first down to make, which is the 45-yard line. That'll be a first down.
Yeah, and that's, they changed that rule in college and the pros a couple years ago where, initially that running back is stopped, but now you can get your big lineman to kind of go up there and just kind of shove him from behind, and that's what they did. And, hey, might as well play the game the way the rules are laid out, and it's a first down for McMinn County. I want to see Oak Ridge on first down get a nice stop. Too many times already on the first down, both sets of new downs they've had, McMinn County has got a lot of yards on first down.
Hayden Malcody right in the middle of the lineup for the Wildcats there as they're taking as much time as possible. They're already down to 8:25 to play in the first quarter. They've got their second first down. It's first down, 10 yards to go. The ball at their own 46-yard line. Yet to throw a pass. Handoff goes to number 10. He's trying to get wide. He tries to get outside. He moves the ball forward for a gain of about 7 yards. The Wildcats, a couple missed tackles on the edge there, and it's another fine gain on first down.
Yeah, Jacob Sharp, the 5'6", 132-pound junior, wearing number 10 for McMinn County, a short, speedy guy, and he showed the ability to actually break a tackle there. And again, here we go. It's just like last set of downs. Get first down, a big gain, and now it becomes second and short. This offensive line, this is no surprise as to what they want to do, Dave. This Cherokee offensive line paved the way for 375 rushing yards in last week games. 6 straight runs for the Cherokees on this drive.
Second down, as Alex said, about 2 yards to go. Sun beginning to set here. It's going to be a cool night by the end of the night. Wildcats need a stop on the line here. Let's see what they can do. Quarterback from the shotgun. Hands it to the back, and he has a first down again across the 45 up to the 41 or 42-yard line. 1st and 10. They have taken up. It's already down to 7 minutes and 18 seconds to play in the first quarter, and their game plan, as I said, is to hold the ball, and they are doing so.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And I mean, obviously you want to score every chance you get, every play you got the ball as a running back. But to me, if I'm a coaching staff against Oak Ridge, this is exactly how. Well, I'd rather nickel and dime you down the field, get 4 yards here, 7 yards here, 5 yards there, and eat up clock versus having a big 40-yard play that gives Oak Ridge the offense. This is going to wear Oak Ridge's defense out, not just this drive, but as the game wears on.
From the 42-yard line, 6:55 to play. Quarterback's going to throw it. No, he's going to run it. Cuts to the outside, and he eludes the tackle, picks up another first down. Quarterback just looked to his left. I thought he was going to throw to his left, then just took off with it, and they gained about 10.
That was Will Presley coming up to make the tackle, and Will's not a small guy, just a sophomore, but he's a pretty tall, pretty physical player out on the edge, and the quarterback, I don't know if Will maybe got a little surprised by it. Certainly I was. He lowered his shoulder and fell forward on that one. Again, first down, David. 8-9 yard gain once again, and Oak Ridge, if they got to stop this drive, if they want to do that, they've got to start performing better on the first down.
I thought he had gained a first down, but it was just 9 yards, and they slowly walked to the line. Once again, the ball is at the Oak Ridge 33-yard line. Second down, a yard to go, 6:08 to play first quarter. Scoreless game. Hand off to the back, and he's got a first down. He's pushed back by the Oak Ridge line, but you're exactly right. Oak Ridge has got to do a better job on first down for sure, but it is a first down for the Cherokees. Well, yes, he did get the proper spot there. It'll be 1st and 10.
Yeah, and ultimately, I think everybody in the stadium knows what this is setting up. At some point, they're going to pass the ball. At Oak Ridge, your defensive backs, Hayward, Presley, Price, Davis, Izzy Mitchell, you can't get so caught up in focusing on the run that you forget your assignments in the back, because while passing's not their forte, you can't, if you come up too far and forget about them, they'll beat you over the top.
Wildcats have Hudson Lee on the front line for the Wildcats. He's substituted in for Mal Cody. Here's the handoff. Now the quarterback's trying to run it. This time he's dropped. Nice play by the Wildcats. It's Elijah Bradley, gain of only a yard.
Yeah, and a lot of players in high school might not have been able to make that play, David. A quarterback made a nice inside move to cut back. He thought about bouncing it outside, planted his outside foot, cut back inside, and Bradley wasn't in the best position. He was a little bit outside, preparing for him to go that way, and all of a sudden he just reaches that long, tall frame and those long arms out. He's able to corral him, and all of a sudden, David, look, 2nd and 9. That's Oak Ridge is really their first good first down stop of this drive.
They might be able to keep the ball the entire quarter if they keep going as they are right now. 2nd down, 9 yards to go, 4:45 to play. It's time the running back is going to be hit after a gain of about 3. It'll be 3rd down, about 5 yards to go. Good defense once again by the Wildcats.
Yeah, obviously the front 3 up there, the big lineman, Walter's going to get a break, but actually Price Davis was the one credited with the tackle. He, from his safety position, got there first.
Malcody and Lee are the interior linemen for the Wildcats. Nothing fancy at all. It's 3rd down, 7 yards to go, 4:17 to play first quarter. This game, we might be back in Oak Ridge before the sun goes down the way this one's going. 3rd down, it's 7 yards to go. The ball is at the 27-yard line of Oak Ridge. The quarterback's going to throw a little screen pass out of the backfield. He's going to be hit, wrapped up by the Wildcats trying to get him down, and there's a face mask. Unfortunately, it's one of those inadvertent ones, but it counts just the same. They wouldn't have picked up the first down. Then it's going to be a first down for them on the personal foul.
Yeah, they absolutely wouldn't have. They were going to be a solid 2.5, 3 yards short, and unfortunately, like you said, it is a face mask. We saw it. The officials, 3 different officials threw their flag and saw that one. It's in front of the McMinn County sideline as well. It's the right call. There was never going to miss that call. But like you said, unfortunately, although inadvertent, that's going to give McMinn County a first down, which you didn't need to do it. You finally had him stopped on 3rd down, and it's first down deep inside Wildcat territory. They're going to spot this just outside of the 10-yard line, right around the 12.
Wildcats are substituting freely on the interior line. Hudson Lee is back in the ball game for the Wildcats. Walters is out. It is first down, 10 yards to go. We are under 4 minutes to play in the first quarter. We haven't even touched the ball yet.
No, but that's the one good thing. If you're Oak Ridge, you know your defense is going to get worn out on a drive like this. Unlike, Tennessee, Josh Heupel's offense where they try not to let you sub, or maybe Oak Ridge when they're going fast sometimes. When they're in no hurry, the one good thing if you're a defensive player is you've got time to get some fresh bodies in there, and certainly Oak Ridge, especially the front 3, the defensive line, they've been doing that easily all first drive.
1st and 10 from the Oak Ridge 12-yard line. I believe this drive started back at the 24. Quarterback hands it off to the back, and he moves across the 5-yard line and goes out of bounds, actually just in front of it at around the 6-yard line, where it'll be another fine gain on first down. As we know, the wing tee is hard to prepare for. It's hard to simulate in practice, and it's just difficult. And the Wildcats so far have not really been able to get a grip on it.
Yeah, when you see that, when I hear wing tee and when I hear these old sort of triple option offenses, I think about Georgia Tech, the Ray County. Ray County that's run it. Think about two guys in the backfield, a quarterback, and a guy coming in motion. Well, they're actually running this out of sort of a pseudo shotgun pistol formation. So the quarterback's not under center. So kind of looks a lot like your standard read option plays, but there's 2 backs in the backfield, almost a fullback.
Gain of 5, 2nd down 5. The ball is at the 6-yard line. Handoff to the back. He's dropped from the backside. Nice defensive play by the Wildcats. Vashon Knowles, our first opportunity to call his name out. It is 3rd down facing McMinn County. The ball is at the 6-yard line. Might have lost a half a yard.
Yeah, and again, Vashon Knowles, just like Elijah Bradley earlier, using that length of his to dive. He came over from the backside, so he had to try to hustle just to get there in time. Barely did, and had his long arms outstretched to make a shoestring tackle as Price Davis came in there late to try to make sure he was down as well.
3 minutes, 3 seconds to play first quarter. Handoff to the running back. He's hit at the line and tackled. He's close to the goal line, and I think he's got enough for a first down. And I believe he does right at the 2-yard line. It should be very close to a first down. I see they're putting
calling it 3rd. Or no, 4th, excuse me. They're calling it.
Okay, officially at the 1-yard line. So it is 4th down, less than a yard to go. 2:47 to play in the first quarter. They have controlled the clock since the opening kickoff.
Yeah, they're going to call timeout, officials timeout for a measurement. And, a lot of times you say 4th and inches. I don't know that there's an S. I don't know that the inches is plural. I mean, the stick is marked almost touching the first down marker. So this is going to be very, very close as they measure.
Going to bring the chains on. I was going to take a break, but I don't think we can.
Well, no, because they're not actually – they called for a measurement. I thought they called for an official's timeout, and they're staring at it. Now they're going to – I thought they were going to try to make a decision without bringing the chains out, but that's the right decision. And, David, here we go.
We're live at McMinn County High School on FM 92.7, FM 94.7. We appreciate you listening or watching our broadcast on our YouTube channel. We have close to 500 people watching currently as the chains are stretched, and it is first down, goal to go at the 1 yard line.
You knew it was going to be close, but unfortunately the Wildcats find out, as everybody else does, that it was a first down. So first and goal now, and it balls I think inside the 2 yard line, just almost touching the 1. So to keep this offense, who's been on the field for over 9 minutes to open this game, keep them out from getting 1 yard 4 plays in a row, this is going to be really tough.
Tim Walters back in the ball game in the middle part of the line. The quarterback sneaks forward. The line pushes forward, and touchdown, McMinn County. 2 minutes, 41 seconds to play, and they took the ball all the way down the field. Nothing fancy. Did not throw the ball one time on the entire drive. They just ran it down Oak Ridge's throat, and the Wildcats trail it 6-0.
Yeah, I mean, it's just old school man-up football, and McMinn County just almost perfectly executed. I don't know if they even could have imagined that the drive would have gone that well, not only scoring an inning and a touchdown, eating almost the entirety of the first quarter off the clock as well.
And they go for the extra point here. 2:41 to play first quarter, 6-0 our score. We watched their kicker warm up in the warm-ups, and he's really, really good. Might have been some movement across the line by the Cherokees. A flag does go down on the play, and it is a penalty against McMinn County.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I don't know that 5 yards is going to affect a guy with a leg as good as McMinn County. Another thing, it doesn't matter what year you come down here. McMinn County is always going to have good special teams play.
And it'll make it just a little bit longer, a 25-yard extra point from the center of the field. Here's the snap. It's low. The kick is on its way. It slithers off to the left side, and it is good. 7-0. Oak Ridge trails McMinn County. We'll be back for the kickoff in 60 seconds. Where's your cheat sheet?
The 2023 McMinn County High School Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony will be held next Friday, September 22nd. There will be a meet and greet reception in the school cafeteria starting at 4:30. The induction ceremony will begin at 5:45 in the auditorium. This year's inductees are Haley Ward Young, Juwan Smith, Renee Bowman Queen, Randy Bostic, and Heath Mason. All those interested are welcome to attend.
Solons to kick off for the Cherokees. Dozier back deep for the Wildcats.
Back here at McMinn County High School, here's the kick. It's going to be end over end, and that's going to be a touchback.
After the kick, Wildcats will have it first and 10 from the 20.
And the Wildcat offense will come onto the field for the first time at the 2:41 mark of the first quarter. We talked about it, Mike, just ball control offense for the McMinn County Cherokees.
Yeah, you got to have a good line to do exactly what they did against the Wildcats that time. Just march down the field, one play after another after another. Excellent execution by the Cherokees. Can't take anything away from them, David.
First down, 10 yards to go for the Wildcats. The ball at the 20-yard line. A little quick pass is going to be caught, making a move down the sideline. 25, 30, 35. That is Almani Rimbert moving the ball for a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down. Good start to the ball game. 1st and 10 Wildcats.
Yeah, great play. Just a quick out. You got to get the ball quickly out to these guys. And as you mentioned a moment ago, Oak Ridge, they're not built to really it's not what Oak Ridge wants to do, is to take 8, 9, 10 minutes off the clock. Oak Ridge wants to go fast. They want to have pace. They want to get into a rhythm. And it's a great way to do it right there. First play of the first drive, get a first down for Almani Rimbert.
Another long conversation, though, with the officials. I do not see a flag there. We'll see what, they've had some long conversations, and nothing against our friends from McMinn County. They're very nice. But we've had some interesting officiating down here before.
Yeah, and again, it's, I'm a big, any coach, I'm a big believer in just taking accountability and ownership. And there's certain things that go against you in sports, certain things you can't control. But I think it always helps when going into it that, you're not going to always get those breaks. And, if you come prepared for that, if you come prepared for that, then you can handle it mentally a little bit better, the ups and downs. The sideline warning, it looks like, on McMinn County, so both teams have one, but the flag, the booing you heard from across the way from Oak Ridge's fans, it was a holding call. Bring it back. It will remain first down.
It was way up the field, so it was obviously after they had picked up the first down, so it's going to be first down and 11 yards to go for the Wildcats. 3 receivers to the right. The Wildcats moving left to right. If you're listening to us on the radio, Blaine Stansbury at quarterback. He looks over to the sideline, and it is first down. They had first up on the board. Blaine had a question whether it is. He's looking over to our sideline. I'm not exactly sure.
Well, and I never saw a flag, so everybody's kind of confused. And even the officiating, there was not a clear call. There was a huddle for about 45 seconds. Now they're now going to mark it first down, as you said. They're going to call it 1st and 9. So it should be a 10-yard penalty from the spot. So from the 30, I guess they're going to say it was at the 31.
And it'll be for Oak Ridge, first down, 11 yards to go. Lone running back is DeJavis Dozier. 3 receivers to the right. Javis gets the handoff, and he moves the ball, but not much farther than a yard. Might have gotten back up to the 20-yard. The holding penalty was way up the field, and then they backed it up 10 yards. So I don't understand the marker either.
I don't know. The officials did. There was a lot of confusion, but regardless, they're going to say he basically got back to the line of scrimmage. So it will be 2nd and 9 for Oak Ridge. Ball on the far hash near the Oak Ridge sideline. There's a lot of room, a lot of speed out here at wideout to the right.
Little quick pass is batted away right at the line of scrimmage. He tried to sling it really fast, and it's incomplete. It is, once again, 3rd down and about 9 yards to go, actually closer to 9.5. And a little quick pass. Wildcats, Coach Rang and I talked about this in the pregame show. The Wildcats have got to limit their turnovers, their interceptions for sure. Big play for the Wildcats. Oak Ridge watched McMinn County just march down the field. They don't want to give the ball right back to them. Blaine's got time, throws across the way pass is going to be caught. And I believe where he caught it initially should be a first down, but he is not spotted. He is actually spotted behind that line. But they are going to say it is 4th down. He caught that and pushed back another terrible spot.
Yeah, he should have gotten forward progress pretty clear right in front of the Oak Ridge sideline. Honestly, I'm surprised there's not more of a fight from Oak Ridge, from that coaching staff to argue it. They're going to bring the big fellas in, Bashan Knowles, Elijah Bradley, the 2 defensive ends. They're going to bring them in, put them on the right side, to the strong side, the wide side of the field. And Tim Walters now, they've got 2 fullbacks. This is undoubtedly probably going to be a run.
4th down, 1 yards to go. Here's the handoff, and it is going to be a first down. He is across the 30 and up to around the 31-yard line. I'm telling you, the spots so far have not been good, but they got just enough for the first down with a minute to play in the first quarter.
Yeah, he needed a yard, and he got about 3.5 feet, so just enough. Now the big guys are going to go off. Oak Ridge is going to get their speedier unit in, and actually Oak Ridge, it looks like they're going to put 4 receivers out to the right now. Dozier, the tailback, drifting out there to the right.
First down 10 from the 31-yard line of the Wildcats. Blaine, little quick pass is going to be to Brandon Hayward, 30. Moves the ball across the 35 and tackled at around the 36. Will, and Dozier tried to block for him. It's a positive gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and about, we'll call it 4.5 yards to go. We're down to 25 seconds and counting in the first quarter, 7-0 McMinn County.
That's one of the more underrated parts about Dozier. We know what he can do with the ball in his hands as a running back. He's great out of the backfield, both as a receiver and as a blocker. He was one of the reasons why Hayward is able to get a little space on that one.
9 seconds and counting. Blaine pitches it out to Dozier. Dozier moves the ball for a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down across the 40. Even though they picked up a first down, the clock ticks down to 1 second. 1.9 seconds to play in the first quarter. I think we'll be doing the next play in the second quarter. We have played 1 quarter of football here at McMinn County High School on FM 92.7, FM 94.7, on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. My name is David Clary, along with Alex Myers, Mike Sheehan. We'll be back for the second quarter in 60 seconds. Welcome back once again to McMinn County High School. First down, 10 yards to go. The Wildcats have the ball at the 48-yard line. Scoreboard says the 44, and I believe they misspotted the ball, and they're going to have to move it back 5 yards, although we'll take it at the 48. I'm telling you, this crew is
that's the best spot they've had all night, Dave.
That is this crew is absolutely terrible. They spotted the ball 5 yards up the field where it shouldn't have been. It should have been the 44. They put it at the 48, but somebody caught it.
Yeah, that's the right call, though. Ultimately,
most definitely the right call.
That's the right call.
But they made the wrong call to put it at the 48. That's my point.
Yeah, no, you're right.
First down, 10 yards to go. Blaine's going to roll to his right. Wide open man right in the middle of the field. He's going to pass the ball and moving the ball for a gain of about 5, and the tackle made from the backside. 11:52 to play. We're in the second quarter. If you just tuned in, the Cherokees just marched up the field almost over 9 minutes off the clock to score their touchdown. The Wildcats not moving quite as methodically. The Wildcats will do a lot of their moving the ball to the air. Wildcats have it second down and a long 5.
Already spreading the ball around very well as Blaine tends to do. Rimbert, Hayward, Presley, all with catches, and then obviously out of the backfield, Dozier.
Here comes Javis Dozier moving the ball for a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down. He's across the 40-yard line down to the Cherokee 38-yard line. I don't see a flag. First and 10 Wildcats.
And it just kind of dawns on me is Dozier, as talented as he is, as good as he is, as many people in football nowadays, David, that get up and throw their hand forward for a first down every time, no matter the score. He doesn't do any of that. He doesn't really show a lot of emotion. He's just steady Eddie, Mr. Consistent, gets the ball to the referee and gets back up and just it's like it's a business trip out for him, Dave. He's not out here for himself. He's just out here to do what he can for his team. I love that.
Brandon Hayward split to the left side. Blaine's going to pass. He's going to be caught on a dead run. Wildcats pick up about 4 or 5 yards. It's kind of a part of the running game, just a little short passing game, and they gain about 5.
Yeah, and why not? Because Rimbert is a guy who's played running back last year for Oak Ridge. He's a guy if needed be could go back and play some running back for the team this year. And with skill position players like this, you just got to get the ball in their hands.
I wouldn't be surprised if they go across the middle to Vashawn Knowles. He's the tight end lined up here on the left side. The Wildcats have a couple receivers to the left. Now it's going to be Dozier running the ball, and he's got another. Well, there's a flag. Might have a hold on one of the Wildcats' interior linemen. And we've already seen a lot of yellow flags fall. Dozier picked up good yardage, but we're going to have to check this call.
And I didn't see it. It was a big pile up as they were trying to bring Dozier down. It could have been a face mask. Would have been a weird timing for the holding.
Personal foul against the
It is a personal foul. I saw Malachi Bonner down on the ground, and I think obviously what happened, it happened to him. It's a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down. The Wildcats have the ball inside the Cherokee 15-yard line. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go.
We're talking about Oak Ridge is built to score quickly, and they are, but you look at that clock and kind of sneakily, the Wildcats have trimmed off over 4 minutes on this drive, going towards 5 as they get a first down here inside the 15.
Will Presley and Brandon Hayward split to the left. Fumble. Blaine has to fall on it back at the 20-yard line. Miss handoff between the quarterback and the running back, and it's an unfortunate play. The Wildcats lose yardage.
And it is very unfortunate. You get, some momentum, everything's going well, and then that happens. But I will say, tip my cap to Blaine, because a lot of times quarterbacks will get the ball, pick it up, fumble it again, or they'll try to make a play and continue to run backwards and lose more yards. Oak Ridge takes a loss of about 9 right there, but could have been worse. I tip my hat to him, David, for just falling on the ball and saying, hey, let's live to throw another down.
God, it takes them so long to get the ball spotted. It's second down, 17 yards to go. 3 receivers this time to the left. Play clock is down to 10. Blaine Stansbury is still looking over to the sideline. 7 seconds. Oak Ridge calls a timeout. We'll take it with them. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Home sponsors for tonight's game include Athens Samuel YMCA, Florida State Farms, Bojangles, Capstar Bank, Domino's Pizza, Rosen Solutions, Firehouse Subs, First Baptist Church of Athens, Madison Avenue Pharmacy, McKinney Excavating, Ocoee FCA, Old White Oaks Golf Course, Ridgewood Golf Club, Sheriff Brown State Farm, Saul Regional Medical Group, Stephen Hatchett Attorney at Law, Tennessee Erosion Control, and Wilson Construction. Thank you.
I didn't. I was too slow.
second and 17.
Welcome back once again to McMinn County High School. Second down, 17 yards to go. The Wildcats trailing 7-0. Blaine Stansbury looks deep, wants to run it, tucks it, moves the ball to his right, and then is going to go down at the line of scrimmage. It'll be third down, 17 yards to go. No place to go. Didn't want to throw an interception. It'll be third and long.
And I agree. You can't afford to turn the ball over against a team that's going to limit your possessions. You may only get 5 or 6 possessions in this game. You can't afford to give them extra possessions and waste possessions of your own. That being said, third and long, you could get a first down without scoring, but you'd have to get inside the 3-yard line. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't use one of these taller wide receivers, perhaps Presley on the edge here, working against a smaller defender, to just try to throw a jump ball up towards the back of the end zone.
Valen Henderson is a receiver as well for the Wildcats, along with Dozier. Blaine's got some time. Goes across the way. Pass is caught by Valen. He's down to the 10-yard line. Well short of a first down. It'll be fourth down facing the Wildcats. 9:06 to play.
Yeah, it looked like Presley was simply a distraction over here on the near sideline because he kind of just jogged out and clearly wasn't the intended receiver from the get. It was a nice strike there, but again, that was really never going to have a shot to reach the first down. Oak Ridge will bring the field goal unit out.
Eli Pearson will come into the game. The block will be put down at around, the 18-yard line, making this a 28-yard field goal. The Wildcats, Adam Washington to hold, Hibben to snap it, and Eli Pearson to attempt a field goal of some 27 yards. Here's the kick. It's on its way. Strong. It's up, and it is good. The Wildcats are on the board with 8:24 to play in the first quarter. It's first half, it is. 7-3 our score. Back in 60 seconds.
Pearson to kick off for the Wildcats. Faulkner and White back deep for the Cherokees.
Welcome back to McMinn County. The Wildcats kicking off. Pearson, a high kick, end over ends, returnable at the 5 to the 10, cutting towards the sideline. Here comes the Oak Ridge White Shirts in pursuit, and there's a nice tackle at around the 24-yard line, and that is where the Cherokees will take over. Wildcats, looks like Jimerson perhaps, and Dallas Frent there on the stop for the Wildcats. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Cherokees.
And I hope JT Gormley is okay. He kind of came up limping, but he's a tough guy. He's going to continue to stay out there. Tell you one thing about that Oak Ridge kickoff unit. They may not make the tackle, but if you're not the guy making the tackle, you're not going to shy away from contact. There was some hitting going down, and special teams coaches love guys that will lay their bodies on the line on special teams.
Now let's see what Oak Ridge can do to try to slow this offense down. They trail 7-3. And here's the handoff this time. The running back tries to get outside, and he's going to gain about 7 yards. The ball came loose for a second, but he was down. Stop is made by the Wildcats over here. I believe that was Bryce Dorsey on the stop for the Wildcats. And Gormley, it'll be a gain on the play of 9. It'll be 2nd down and a long yard to go for a 1st.
Yeah, I'm impressed by the running backs here, especially the number 10 for McMinn County, which is Jacob Sharp. He's just 5'6", but he does not run. I mean, he runs like he's 6'1", 220. He's fast and he's quick and he can cut on a dime, but he's not afraid to lower his head and lower his shoulder, and he's already broken several tackles, lowered his shoulder, and created some contact on that last run as well.
Now the spot's different from where it was initially put down. Flag goes down. What are they going to say?
They say reset the play clock. It was at 4, which that stinks for Oak Ridge because you had them in a situation you knew they had to snap the ball and you could jump the count, but now it's reset and you can't.
It'll be 2nd down, less than a yard to go now for a 1st. The Wildcats stack the line, hand off to the back, and he's got a 1st down across the 35 up to the 36. I was saying during the break, guys, this was very similar to last year's game. Oak Ridge won that game 13-12. It looks like we're going to have another low-scoring affair here.
Yeah, but, all it takes is one play to sort of shift the momentum. If you're Oak Ridge's defense, you saw the ball come out earlier. It was ruled he was down. But the problem is for the Wildcats, you're not going to get many chances to intercept the ball. So the style McMinn County's playing is not conducive to really giving you opportunities to create turnovers.
1st down, 10 yards to go for the Cherokees, 6:55 to play in the first half. Hand off to the running back, and he is tackled at around the 40-yard line. Let's see if they spot him. The Wildcats make the stop. Might be Threet there with Bradley, Walters, Gormley, and a host of others. Short gain on 1st down, 2nd down, 8.
And we'll take that 1st down, make a nice stop. Now all of a sudden it's 2nd and some distance. And really we haven't seen this McMinn County team, Dave, all game have a 3rd and long. And I'd love to create a situation where they have to go to the air, do something they're not as comfortable with. But to do that, you got to stop them from getting several yards right here.
6:19 to play in the first half, 7-3 Cherokees. Slot to the left, hand off to the back, and he is met. Wildcats push back, though. He still gains 2 or 3 yards. I think the Wildcats hit him well at first. Gormley there with Threet and others, but they still gained about 2. It'll be 3rd down and 4 yards to go.
And these aren't big backs, but like you said, Oak Ridge just meet them at the line of scrimmage, but then they just keep turning their feet. And honestly, it's clearly something their coach should do. McMinn County's doing a nice job of pushing the pile forward. So even on what typically would be, gains of 1 or 2, they're getting 3 or 4 yards off that. And now they've got it into position 3rd and medium. The run is still in play.
At the 43-yard line, there's movement by the wide receiver of the Cherokees. That's going to cost them 5 yards.
And now we'll see. 3rd and long, predictable pass situation. Will they trust their quarterback to go to the air? Not, kind of backed up in your own territory here. Ball's going to be placed 3rd and 10 right at the 38-yard line. 37, they'll say, actually. So predictable passing situation. I don't think they've passed it yet. Will they do it here? They've done it one time.
I think they will. 5:35 to play. It's 3rd down, 9 yards to go. The ball is back at the 38-yard line. Appreciate all of you watching our broadcast or listening to us on the radio. Here the Cherokees come, moving left to right. Third down, 9 yards to go. Is movement again. A little quickly, boom! Incomplete pass. The Wildcats are going to take over. They'll have to bring the punt unit. The Wildcats, big hit out there on the receiver.
There's a big hit. It's likely going to be Knowles, Price Davis, or Izzy Mitchell. Take your pick. It was Price Davis that time. Mike, I don't know if you saw what I saw. They had 2 men in motion when the ball was snapped. That should have been a penalty before the ball was ever snapped.
That should have been illegal procedure. You're right, Alec. Absolutely. We're not getting the best calls in the world tonight, for sure.
It didn't hurt the Wildcats. It brings up 4th and 10. Davis and Henderson back deep to receive.
5 minutes, 29 seconds to play. Good snap, good punt. Whoa, really good punt. The Wildcats are going to let it bounce, so it's going to take a convenient hop at the 20. Oh, out to the outside he goes, 25. Cuts to the 30. Moving the ball to the 32-yard line. That is where Oak Ridge will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. Price Davis there on the return for the Wildcats. Wildcats have 5 minutes, 17 seconds to get down the field to try to get some points on the board before halftime.
And Price did a phenomenal job of ignoring a little extra shove. They shoved his head into the ground after he was already down, and they'd blow the whistle. I'm not sure I would have had that same calm response. So tip of the cap to Price because he kept his head about him.
Almani Rimbert is a receiver to the left. The Wildcats have Eubanks in the game as an offensive lineman and others. 2 receivers to the right. The Wildcats will hand it off to Dozier. Dozier bounces forward and leans across to the 35-yard line, gain of about 2.
Talked about a lot this game about how McMinn County, you meet them at one spot and then they drive forward for 2 or 3 yards. Well, Javis Dozier's the king of that. He always falls forward. Those legs, big, strong, powerful legs, never stop churning. Should have been a gain of 1. Ends up being a gain of nearly 4 yards.
Young, Bonner, Hickson, Eubanks on the line for the Oak Ridge Wildcats. Second down, 6 yards to go. We're down to 4:45 to play, 7-3. McMinn County in the lead. Dozier comes in motion. Blaine is going to throw to him, and he's going to get a block from Hayward. He moves the ball to the 40. That's a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down up to the 42-yard line. First and 10 Wildcats.
You called it, nailed it. Quick pass out to the right side, get your playmaker the ball in space, but that play does not happen without a terrific block to spring him out on the edge by number 13, Brandon Hayward. We know what he can do as a receiver, but that is what makes a good receiver special, is a guy that can help out and aid you in the run game. He did just that.
The Wildcats have the ball at their own 43, 4:20 to play in the first half, 7-3 Cherokees. Only the second drive of the game for the Wildcats. Blaine Stansberry, quarterback, is going to throw it. Pass complete this time to Brandon. Oh, he dropped it. Man, he had some running room. He had the Wildcat, had some blockers out in front of him. I thought if he catches that ball, I think he takes the sideline. He might have taken it all the way.
Yeah, he had Will Presley and Big Vashawn Knowles out there leading the charge, blocking. Both of them picked up their blocks. I don't know if it was a little low or if he just muffed it a little bit, but like you said, missed opportunity for the Cats right there on first down.
Clock has stopped now, 4:07 to play. The Wildcats scoring on a 27 or 28-yard field goal by Eli Pearson. Second down, 10 yards to go. Blaine's going to pass, fires a pass. It's going to be caught by Almani Rimbert at around the 49-yard line. It'll be third down and about 4 yards to go. 3:55 and counting in the first half.
Yeah, that's going to go down in the stat book as a simple 6-yard pass and catch, but that was a tremendous effort by Rimbert. He had to dive for it, stretched out for it. Great effort.
Third down 4, 3:42 to play. The Wildcats inching up the field. They're at their own 49-yard line, moving right to left. Clock down to 17 seconds and counting. The Wildcats taking a lot of time here getting the play in. 3.5 minutes to play.
Yeah, I don't know if they won't end up calling a timeout. Coach Ring doesn't exactly look decisive over there. I think they're going to have to use a timeout.
We're going to take a break ourselves. 3:22 to play first half. 7-3. Cherokees back in 60 seconds.
Bostic and Heath Mason. All of those interested are welcome to attend.
Welcome back once again to McMinn County High School. 3:22 to play. First half, Blaine's going to pitch it to Dozier. Dozier moves the ball for a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down, goes out of bounds, up the field, across midfield. They put him out at the sticks. He went past that. The spots have not been good. And it'll be 1st and 10 Wildcats.
It's interesting the chess match going on between these two offense and defensive coordinators. McMinn County has not really tried to stretch the edge. Clearly their advantage, they know it, they see it, they're sticking to it, is the power game up the middle between the tackles. Oak Ridge, on the other hand, can run between the tackles. They haven't really even attempted to do that yet. They're getting everything out on the edge.
From the 46, here's Dozier. Dozier moves the ball for a gain of about 5. McMinn County's very physical. You're talking about a very physical team. It's a gain on the play of 5 yards, but there's 3 minutes to play in the first half.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, you're down, but Oak Ridge, now all of a sudden you want to kind of take the foot off the gas pedal because you don't want to give McMinn County another chance. Keep moving the ball. You got 3 minutes to do so with another timeout left. 2nd and 4, ball on the 40-yard line of the Cherokees. Oak Ridge driving.
2 minutes, 44 seconds to play in the first half. 7-3, Cherokees on top. Blaine Stansbury, sophomore quarterback, straight drops, going to go deep. Man's open, pass is there. Pass is going to be caught inside the 5 and then dropped. It would have been a spectacular play by Almonte Rimbert. He laid out for it, and I think he had it initially, came down hard and couldn't hold on to it, but a great effort.
Yeah, it's one of those typical balls where he stretched out for a great effort. Again, he is performing really well out there tonight. Dropped that one, but he caught it. The ground caused the incompletion. It bounced up after his arms hit the ground. But I'll say this. It won't go down in the stat book as much, a simple incompletion, but that's another improvement. Blaine's growing. That's a pass the first few weeks of the season he's underthrown and it's been picked off. Only his player was able to catch that one.
3rd down and 5. Screen pass to Brandon Hayward. He can't catch it. He was going to get killed, and he did. It's incomplete. It's 4th down. 4th down and 4 yards to go.
And unfortunately, he took the hit anyways. But, he was there's, to be honest with you, him dropping that, you don't want to ever think you want to drop the ball, but actually him dropping that saved Oak Ridge a couple yards because he was hit behind the line of scrimmage, so not the worst thing in the world. Interesting here, McMinn County not able to strike quickly. However, Oak Ridge is going to go for this. If they don't get it, McMinn County will have a relatively short field to go.
We're going to take a quick break. Timeout is asked for by Oak Ridge. 2:27 to play. Second quarter, 7-3 Cherokees. Back in 30 seconds. David Clary back here along with Alex Myers, Mike Sheehan, Kason Robinson. We also are joined by Caleb Riker, Josh Frazier, and John Ulrich. It'll be 4th down, 4 facing the Wildcats. The ball at the McMinn County 41-yard line. The Wildcats come up with 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Blaine Stansbury, sophomore quarterback, back to pass, looks to run. He's in a lot of trouble, and he's sacked. He looked down the field. There was nobody open at all. And by the time he's tried to tuck it and run, he was dropped for a loss of a yard, and they'll take over on downs.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, Dave. They had it like Price Davis across the middle quickly, and by the time he went to throw it, he got covered up, and it just nowhere to go with it.
So now it's going to be 1st and 10 for the McMinn County Cherokees. Wildcats down 7-3 here on the road in Athens. We'll have the halftime report sponsored by Madison Insurance Group coming up. We'll have Mike's scoring summary. That won't take long. And we'll have Mark and Shauna's statistics, and we'll do some other things, I'm sure. 1st and 10, Cherokees. Running back gets the call, and down he goes. No gain on the play. 2nd down, 9 yards to go.
This is a huge set of 3 downs right here. It's always big, but for Oak Ridge, McMinn County does not a quick striking team. So now as the clock goes under 2 minutes before this next snap gets off, second down here, if you get a stop right here without much yardage, McMinn County's probably going to just be happy to concede this and end up punting with under a minute to go, not really trying to get the first down. If they pop one here, and all of a sudden they've got timeouts and they're rolling.
Wildcats will receive the ball in the second half. Cherokees, second down 9. Hand off to the back, trying to get wide, and he is going to be hit and stopped after a gain of 2. Do you call a timeout right here? Oak Ridge, I might think about it.
Well, I think they're out of timeouts. I think Oak Ridge called their last timeout, so Oak Ridge can't stop it. But you see, I like what you said. They tried to get outside there. They're not able to do that. Oak Ridge has the speed advantage. They have the power advantage up front, and it's like I said, it's an interesting sort of two different contrasting styles. Both can be successful, and this, like you said earlier, David, looks almost identical to how the last game went back here in the playoffs last year.
Got a lot of people watching our broadcast on our YouTube channel, listening to us on the radio. We appreciate all of you. Third down, 7 yards to go. The ball is at the 46-yard line of the Cherokees. Play clock down to 3, down to 2, down to 1. They'll call a timeout. We will too. 7-3 McMinn County. Back in 30 seconds.
Silver sponsors for tonight's game include, as you Barnes said, Bracken Smith, Food City, Jenkins Deli, Law Offices of Roger Salter, Mayfield Dairy Farm, Plaza Electronics and Appliances, Simmons Bank, Trophy House, and Web Plumbing, Heating, and Electric.
Welcome back once again to McMinn County. I apologize for taking all these breaks, but in a game like this, got a lot of commercial sponsors that have to get their word in, and we just haven't had many stoppage of time during this game. Third down, 8 yards to go for the Cherokees. The ball at their own 44-yard line. 52 seconds on the clock. Hand off to the back, and he is hit. Will not pick up a first down. It's going to be fourth down and 3, 44 seconds to play. They just stopped the clock, and now they run time off the clock. And the play clock, they're going to have to run one more play. It's fourth down, 3 yards to go. Too bad the Wildcats did not have another timeout because they definitely cannot stop it. I think Dallas Frentz says we need to call a timeout, but we just don't have any timeouts. And as Alex told me, we're down to 19 seconds to play. There's a difference of 3 seconds on the play clock.
Yeah, and I think this is a really smart tactic. McMinn County's, they're going to call another timeout with about 3 seconds to go. Guys, if I were McMinn County, I wouldn't even bring my punter out there and risk a block or anything. I'd just tell my quarterback to run back, scramble around, and then take a knee.
And they take a timeout with 3 seconds to play in the first half in a 7-3 ball game. We knew it was going to be a defensive struggle. I thought it was going to be just by the wing tee as we saw on their first drive. And we've done a better job in the last 2. They've only had the ball. I guess this is their third drive.
Yeah. This is their third. Oak Ridge has only had the ball twice.
That's just crazy. We have 5 total possessions in the first half. I mean, that just ball control. So Cherokee's doing exactly what they wanted to do, but fortunately, the Wildcats are only down 7-3.
Yeah, and it works both ways. It's tough to get a big lead on somebody when they keep the game short like this, but also, even though they're, you're always within striking distance, no matter the talent advantage or disadvantage. You see this at the college level. A lot of teams go away from this style because of that. It's hard to put teams away because they're always in striking distance. Basically,
the victory formation. The quarterback will wait. The Wildcats don't rush, and he takes a knee at the 45-yard line, and that ends the first half. 7-3 is our score. I'm going to take a break here, like I said earlier, and I apologize for our radio audience here. We've got to take a few breaks to get him in. Bill Minot knows about that. He's listening to us, watching our broadcast on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. My name is David Clary, along with Alex Myers. Mike Sheehan up in the booth. We'll have the first half statistics. Our halftime show sponsored by Madison Insurance Group. We are live in Athens, Tennessee. 7-3 our score. Wildcat band is here. McMinn County's band is here. The Wildcats band the Wild band is in their full uniforms tonight on a little chillier night from Athens. We'll take a break. 7-3 Cherokees back to Athens in 3 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field the 2023 Oak Ridge High School Marching Band. The band is under the direction of Michael Spurgo, Sean Rutherford, Liz Reams, Alex Cantor, color guard instructor Emma Madison, and University of Tennessee student intern Olivia Watson. Drum majors are Elena Russell and Gianna Sakiatano. Tonight, the Wild Band will present their 2023 program, Metal, which includes Iron Man by Black Sabbath, Ecstasy of Gold from the movie The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, music from the movie Iron Man, and closes with the
They've got a really good band. Their pass is really good.
Yeah. Mic on?
Yes. Welcome back to McMinn County High School, home of the Cherokees. Wildcats trailing here 7-3 at the half. What really has turned out to be a ball control offense, especially by the Cherokees. On their first drive, they kept it for over 9 minutes and just completely eat up the first quarter. With 2 minutes and 41 seconds left in the first quarter, McMinn County drove down from their 20-yard line all the way down to the goal line, where quarterback 6'1", 175-pound Bradley Mullins ran it in from 1 yard out with a sneak and put the Cherokees up 6-0. Then they have a very good kicker out here. His name is Spencer Sullins, and he kicked the ball right between the uprights, and the Cherokees led over the Wildcats 7-0. Then in second quarter, the second time only that the Wildcats touched the ball, the Wildcats methodically drove the ball down the field, got down to the 27-yard line, and then bogged down. And Eli Pearson, Mr. Reliable for the Oak Ridge Wildcats kicker, came in and kicked it between the uprights. And the Wildcats only trail now 7-3 with the only scoring of the first half in what has turned out to be a really low-scoring football game. We're going to send it back to the station right now for a 3-minute break. Come back with Mark Hayes and Shauna's statistics.
Welcome back to McMinn County High School. Mark Haste is ready to give you your first half stats.
Thank you very much, Alex. Oak Ridge trails at the half by a score of 3-7 over the McMinn County Cherokees. Leading the Oak Ridge Wildcats on the ground, Jarvis Dozier. He has 7 carries for 37 yards. His long tonight is 15. Quarterback Blaine Stansbury, 3 carries, -9 yards total. So as a team, the Wildcats have rushed the ball 10 times, only accumulating 28 yards on the ground. Through the air, the Wildcats are more successful. Quarterback Blaine Stansbury, he's 9 of 13 for 62 yards. No interceptions tonight. Receiving, Oak Ridge led by Almani Rimbert. He has 5 receptions for 34 yards. Jovis Dozier, 14 yards on 2 receptions. Valon Henderson has a 10-yard reception, and Will Presley has a 4-yard reception. As a team, as I said, rushing, Oak Ridge has 28 yards on 10 carries, 62 yards through the air on 9 receptions, for a total offense tonight in the first half of 90 yards. Wildcats have been penalized 6 times, or rather 2 times for 25 yards. They have 6 first downs in the ballgame. Time of possession for the Wildcats was 9 minutes and 31 seconds. Now looking at McMinn County, They're led on the ground by Taylon White, 10 carries, 33 yards. Jacob Sharp, 5 carries for 24 yards. Brady Mullins has 17 yards on 5 carries. Luke Sliger has 7 yards on 2 carries rather. And Jakarian Dyer has a 1-yard carry for the Cherokees. As a team, the Cherokees have rushed the ball 23 times, gaining 82 yards on the night. That's an average of 3.6 yards per carry. Through the air, they haven't thrown much. Brady Mullins, the quarterback, he's 1 of 2 for 5 yards. The lone reception going to Jacob Sharp. So as a team, the Cherokees have 82 yards on the ground on 23 carries. They have 5 yards through the air on 1 reception for a total offense tonight of 87 yards. McMinn County has gained 7 first downs in the ball game so far, 3 penalties for 25 yards, and their time of possession was 14:29. So looking at the team side by side, rushing yards, Oak Ridge has 28, McMinn County 82. Through the air, Oak Ridge has 62 yards, McMinn County 5. Total offense, Oak Ridge edges out the Cherokees at the half. They have 90 total offensive yards, McMinn County 87. First downs, Oak Ridge has 6, McMinn County 7. Penalties, Oak Ridge 2 for 25, McMinn County 3 for 75. Time of possession, Oak Ridge has had the ball 9 minutes and 31 seconds. McMinn County 14 minutes and 29 seconds. I want to look here real quick because their first drive was very impressive. It took 9 minutes and 9 seconds off the clock, 76 yards, and I would guess about 15 plays. So very impressive first drive for the Cherokees. Again, this is Marquez. We're at the half. The Wildcats trail the Cherokees by a score of 3-7, and we'll be back after this 4-minute timeout.
Now entering the field, led by drum major Matty Curtis, your 2023 McMinn County Cherokee Marching Band. Tonight's performance will feature hit songs by ABBA, I Have a Dream, Mamma Mia, and Dancing Queen.
Welcome back to McMinn County High School, home of the Cherokees, where we're at halftime. Oak Ridge trailing 7-3 in what it was really been an unusual game, where to start the game off, the Madison Insurance Group is sponsoring this halftime report. We want to tell you that right up front. And the Cherokees had a 16-play opening drive. Josh, what do you think about that?
I mean, that was just, it seemed like it never was going to end. It was over 9 minutes off the clock before Oak Ridge even got their offense onto the field, and it just seemed like it drug on and on and on. Couple yards here, couple yards there. Finally, it ended up in a touchdown. I will mention there was a face mask penalty that kept that drive alive as well, gave them 15 yards and really set them up to score that first touchdown for McMinn County.
Yeah, they just snuck it in from 1 yard out. So it was a methodical drive all the way from their 20, an 80-yard drive, if you will. Then Oak Ridge didn't even get to touch the ball until there was only 2 minutes and 41 seconds left, and they weren't able to really score it and do anything in the first quarter. But in the second quarter, they did manage to get the ball down to the 27-yard line, where Oak Ridge's Eli Pearson was able to kick one between the uprights. At least we're on the scoreboard here at half, 7-3.
Right, and I think the thing that Oak Ridge has to do is they have to open the field up, down the field, because I don't think these runs up the middle or out to the side or these screens or bubble plays are going to work to win the game. They've been kind of effective to get a couple yards and some first downs, but they're going to have to open up the field, down the field, and get some big chunk yardage here in the second half if they're going to put away McMinn County by the end of it.
Well, I was talking to David right after the half about Brandon Hayward's only seen the ball twice, and one time they were on him so close, he didn't even get any yardage on that first catch. The second catch he did, but they're going to have to open the ball up, get it more to him and Rembert and Price Davis, and you get this offense cranking. And, of course, Jadarvis Dozier is doing a super job running the ball. I think we're going to have to keep run first, pass second.
Mike Sheehan, as we get set to kick off, we are not. The band is still on the field, and I'm going to guess, as there's 45 seconds left on the clock, that we're going to keep the streak alive. They're going to add several minutes onto the clock and extend the halftime. Josh, your final thoughts before you head back down to the sideline to catch the game.
Oak Ridge has really got to get creative in this second half. They got to stretch the field, open it up down the field, because these screens and bubbles and couple-yard runs just aren't going to get it done against McMinn County.
Let's take a guess here, and let's send a 2-minute. Let's go for a 3. I'm assuming they're going to add 3 minutes on the clock. Let's take a 3-minute timeout. When we come back, hopefully we'll have second half action from McMinn County High School. No, y'all did. Josh, thank you guys. Thank you guys.
inductees are Amy Ward Young, Javon Smith, Renee Bowman Queen, Randy Boston, and Heath Mason. All those interested are welcome to attend.
Welcome back to McMinn County High School. Alex Myers as David with you as David Clary rejoins us as we wrap up things for the Madison Insurance Group halftime report. We thank them for sponsoring. We thank all of our sponsors as we do each and every week, and also thank you for not only listening but supporting those sponsors. David, without those people, the new sponsors and the sponsors that have been with you for decades, what we do would never make it onto the air.
You know, we do so many things. We're on so many mediums. We have to employ a lot of camera guys. It takes a lot, and we appreciate all of our sponsors. I know, we're on so many ways you can listen or watch, and I appreciate every single one of them. Well, guys, the Wildcats are down 7-3. It's a very close ball game, like it always is when we come down here. What does Oak Ridge have to do to get back and win this ball game?
Well, they've got to just play their game, I think. You know, the fields are flipping. Oak Ridge is going to get the ball here, although I would not put it out of – to me, if I got a kicker that can boot it out of the end zone, I'm kicking it deep every time. Knowing McMinn County and how these games tend to go, I wouldn't put it past them to try something here, maybe an onside. But assuming you get the ball here, just go down. Just go down, score points, play your pace. Your defense has had a rest. You've had a 24, 25-minute halftime break at this point. So I'm not worried about giving your defense a rest. Go out there, play your game, run the ball, spread it around to your playmakers on the outside, and then theoretically you get a lead, and now you're cooking with grease.
I think we're waiting for the chain gang to rejoin us. I think the officials, the teams are ready, but we don't have a chain gang. I think that's the delay here.
Well, we had 3 extra minutes, as we typically do, and for about 2.5 minutes, Dave, Mike, you guys saw it. The teams are ready to go, the officials are ready to go, and we're just standing there. And now that those 3 minutes have long since expired, we're continuing to stand here. And I mean, it's not a McMinn County thing, it's not an Oak Ridge. It's everywhere we go, and it's every week.
Yesterday, I watched the Clinton-Powell ball game, and Powell came out of the second half into the second half kick with an onside kick, stole a possession away from the Dragons, eventually went on to win that game. We'll be at Clinton next week for the ball game. That's a region ball game. The Wildcats taking on the Dragons.
Who won that game, David?
That would be the Powell Panthers. Okay. You're trying to get me in trouble here. Here's the kickoff of the second half, and we are underway, and he does boot it into the end zone. No chance at all for DeJavis Dozier, and here comes the Oak Ridge offense. Oak Ridge had something going on their final drive. It stalled out. Basically, one thing that we have noticed from up here, obviously, the pass coverage by the Cherokees is really, really good.
Oh, it is. And it's interesting, kind of surprising, to be honest with you, David, because it's clearly not something they go up against in practice against their first team, because their first team doesn't get it. You would expect a team like this that plays their style of offense, you expect them to face the run and bode well. Not as much on the pass, but they've been impressive. 1st and 10,
Oak Ridge. Blaine's going to pass it. Pass is caught by Almani Rimber, and he's going to lose a yard or two. He's going to be tackled at the 19-yard line. Not going down the field with the ball, and, McMinn County gave him really the short stuff early on, but that time no room at all for Almani.
And the one time, Oak Ridge has really only tried to throw it deep one time, and it was that pass to Almani where the ball caused him to drop that pass near the end zone, and in one play, in one try, it was there. So I think Oak Ridge has the ability to beat these guys, and one thing I'll say is the protection's been great all night. Blaine really hasn't been rushed, and sometimes when you don't call those guys up front, it's a good sign.
2nd down, 11 yards to go. Blaine's going to pass. Pass is going to be caught by Vashon. He only gets up to the 23-yard line. Wildcats are faced with 3rd and long right now, right out of the break.
Interesting, going to the short side of the field for the second time in a row, and not the same play, but essentially the same result, just a quick screen or a quick flip out to the right side, and McMinn County all over both of those. If they're going to play those up, I wouldn't be surprised to see a double move at some point from Oak Ridge's wideouts.
3rd down, 8 yards to go. Blaine's going to roll this time to his left, has time, fires on the rim, pass is caught for a 10-back of Oak Ridge, 1st down at the 50-yard line. moving the ball up the field and tackled right at the 49. 1st and 10, really, really nice play. He rolled out to his left and had to throw across his body. Great throw by Blaine Stansberry, but there is a flag on the play.
And the flag is near the Oak Ridge sideline. It can't be holding on the receiver because both receivers on that side were going out. If it's not near the line of scrimmage, so it shouldn't be on a lineman going downfield. I don't know. It was a great play design. They had Blaine rolling to his left side, the strong side of the field, but unfortunately this is going to be against the Wildcats. It'll be interesting to see what this call was.
Sideline, it's a sideline warning again, and that time they're going to penalize them for it.
I don't know, and I'd love to complain, David, but I didn't see it, so maybe that tells you what you need to know, that I didn't see anything. But to be honest with you, I'm not looking at the sideline while the play's going on. So
it is a first down for the Wildcats, though. They do have it at the 35-yard line, so it is 1st and 10 at the 35. But that's about the 3rd or 4th time they have been told to get back. But as you said, Alex, there is just not much room across there for them to stand.
No, and remember, guys, if you're not at the game, it's hard to tell on TV. There is a crown on this field, pretty good crown, kind of like Blankenship used to have, not quite that bad, but what that creates is not just slope on the field, but on the sidelines it runs off. And so Oak Ridge sideline, not only is there's not much depth to it, but it's also slanted going down. So those guys are trying to get as close to the top of that field as they can.
1st and 10, Blaine's going to hand it off to Dozier. He cuts across the 40. Dozier is tackled at the 42-yard line. I think if he had gotten outside, he would have taken that the distance. It is a fine run. One thing we haven't talked about, this is natural grass, and maybe the only time we're going to play on it all year, at least in the regular season.
Yeah, and you think, okay, Oak Ridge has only played on turf so far. The Jamboree was on turf. They play on turf at their home field, but Oak Ridge has an advantage over some teams where they've got an on-campus facility that is grass. And so, to my knowledge, Dave, Oak Ridge is used to practicing on grass, honestly, more than they practice on that artificial turf.
Yeah, I'll talk about that here in a second. 2nd down, 4. Blaine's going to roll the pass again. Fires a pass wide open in the flats. That's another 1st down. He steps out of bounds, and the clock continues to tick, although there is another flag at the line of scrimmage. I'm telling you, we're not getting much of anything in terms of the officiating here as accustomed to, and when we get a big play, it seems like it goes backwards.
I think Oak Ridge's body language on the sideline and their players, I think this is going to be a late hitter roughing the passer.
It is roughing the passer. Good call there, Alex Myers, and that's going to be another 10 bank of Oak Ridge 1st down. 9:57 to play, 3rd quarter. But they found something there, just wide open there in the flat. That's a couple times they've hit him.
And it's not just a straight drop back thrown to the left. They're rolling Blaine out, so Stansberry gets on the run, gets those linebackers, those defensive backs, sort of quarterback watching, getting their eyes turned inside, and they've got to respect the speed of Oak Ridge, so the cornerbacks are playing 8 to 10 yards off, and they're just simply, faking like they're going deep, having a little comeback route, and like you said, there's just 5-7 yards of space. It's easy pitch and catch for these talented wideouts.
15-yard penalty all the way down to the McMinn County 30-yard line. 1st down, 10 yards to go. 9:57 to play, 3rd quarter, 7-3. Wildcats trailing the Cherokees here at Athens. Dozier in the backfield. Blaine Stansberry will check the offensive line for you in a moment. Flags are down on the play.
I don't think Oak Ridge was set. It's going to be a legal procedure. Up front, left to right, left tackle Jared Bradford, left guard Elijah Young, center Malachi Bonner, Kanan Hickson is the right guard, and Ethan Eubanks is the right tackle.
You know me, Alex, I try to get those offensive linemen in as much as I can.
Yeah, you do, and like I said, sometimes when we're here in the offensive line, it's a bad thing because they're giving up pressure or maybe they're holding. We haven't called their name, and that's a good sign tonight.
Blaine's going to hand it off to Dozier, and then he fumbles it. That's the second time they've had a little exchange. I think kind of is odd about the play anyway, is he looked like he was going to go left and come back right and then just dropped it at his feet.
Yeah, I think it was a design counter, but I don't know if there was potentially an option for Stansberry to keep that. You would think there would be, or else there shouldn't have been any confusion on the handoff. But, that's something, knock on wood. Dozier, I don't know that he's fumbled all year. He had one close one where he called him down. I don't think he's lost a fumble all year.
2nd down, 17 yards to go. Blaine's going to go deep. Pass is there. Pass is going to be incomplete. Almost picked off. Collision between the defensive back and the intended receiver. That time double coverage. And pass is incomplete. It's 3rd down, 17 yards to go.
It's interesting, and I don't want to make a comment one way or the other because I've only only trying to watch one side of the field where the ball's going. But both times Oak Ridge has taken a deep shot. They've only done it twice. Oak Ridge has done it to a shorter receiver. It was Rimbert on the first route, and the second time it was Izzy Mitchell. They've got Valen Henderson and Will Presley, two guys well over 6 foot, and Hayward out there around 6 foot as well. And they haven't tried any of those guys for a jump ball deep. Interesting, though.
Kelly Rowland listening to us in West Tennessee, and we've got a timeout on the field. 9:10 to play third quarter. 7-3 our score. We'll be back to Athens in 60 seconds.
Those starters for tonight's game are Athens Family YMCA, Florida State Farm, Bojangles, Capstar Bank, Domino's Pizza, Erosion Solutions, Firehouse Sub, First Baptist Church of Athens, Madison Avenue Pharmacy, McKinney Excavating, Ocoee FCA, Old Lions Golf Course, Ridgewood Golf Club, Sharon Brown State Farm, Star Regional Medical Center, Stephen Hackett, Attorney at Law, Tennessee Erosion Control, and Wilson Construction.
What's that?
Third and 17.
Good question. Welcome back once again to McMinn County High School. The Wildcats have it third down, 17 yards to go. The ball at the Cherokee 35-yard line. Blaine off to Will Presley. He's working down the sideline. He's going to be pushed out of bounds. Well short of a first down. He goes out at the 30. It's going to be 4th and about 10, Mike.
Yes, David, they really tried to get wide that time, and Presley did a good job, but their safeties came up very quickly and knocked him out of bounds. Brings up a long 4th down situation for the Wildcats. But, David, they're going to go for it right here. There's no more opportunities than they have. They're going to take advantage of every play they can get. It looks like 4th and 11 coming up for the Wildcats.
Tommy and Martha Lee also watching our broadcast tonight or listening to us on FM 92.7. 3 receivers to the right, big play, 4th down, 11 yards to go. The ball is at the Cherokee 31-yard line. Blaine Stansbury all day fires a pass. Oh, it's incomplete. In and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Brandon Hayward, I believe. Just in and out of his hands. And the Wildcats turned the ball over on downs. It was a good, sharp, crisp pass by Blaine. Brandon just couldn't hold on to it.
Yeah, that was just a tough drop for the Wildcats, David. He had it in his hand and just couldn't keep a grasp of it. Good job defending by the Cherokees again. Their secondary has been really tough all night long. They've given the Wildcat receivers about all they want. Now the ball turns over to the Cherokees, and we're getting ready for another drive.
Lee Younger watching our broadcast as well, along with his family back in Oak Ridge. We've got, a ton of people watching on our YouTube channel. It's been a really big deal to have us as the Cherokee offense is on the field. The Wildcats are trying to stop him at the line, and it's a good stop there in the middle part of the line. It'll be 2nd down and long facing the Cherokees. They're moving right to left as we play in the third quarter. McMinn County on top 7-3. The Cherokees have won their last 2 ball games, knocking off Tyner Academy and East Hamilton. The only losses they have, Mike, are to powerhouses, Cleveland and Bradley Central.
Yeah, I was looking at that before the game started. They really started their season off tough with 2 of the toughest opponents in the state. And then ever since, they've bounced back, and they're coming on strong, definitely, David.
Thomas Cox listening to our broadcast or watching our broadcast as well. 2nd down, 8 yards to go. Handoff. No, the quarterback's going to run it and hand it off, and they move the ball across the 35. I'm too busy looking at how many people are watching to watch the ball game. I should pay more attention. It's going to be 3rd down and about 5.
Yeah, that was a good defensive stand again by the Wildcats. They're playing tougher on these first 2 downs now, David. They're not getting 6 and 7 and 8 like they used to. Wildcats slowly maybe wearing them down, hopefully. A good front line by the Wildcats. Eli Bradley on the stop for the Wildcats.
7:45 and counting here in the third quarter. It's 3rd down, less than 5 yards to go for a first, and a 7-3 ball game in the third quarter. They have the ball at their own 36-yard line. Shotgun formation. Quarterback's going to roll, hand it off, and they have nothing and not a first down. The Wildcats are going to force them to punt. So Wildcat defense making a stand here, much better than that opening drive when they went 16 plays over 9 minutes off the clock. It's 4th down and 4 facing McMinn County.
And the big reason that Oak Ridge was able to have success that drive, the last 2 runs, both to the outside. Oak Ridge's defensive ends are actually outside linebackers creeping up on the defensive line. Bashan Knowles and TJ Hibben, 2 plays in a row, they were able to set the edge. And while they didn't make the tackle, they forced the running back to cut it back up inside. And what was there for them to find? A bunch of white jerseys there to make the tackle.
Wildcats can't jump off sides here. It's 4th down and about 4 yards to go. 6:45 to play. Play clock is down to 16, and they'll milk it all the way. Although now the officials are getting together, and as valuable time ticks off the clock, if they're going to have a conversation, they need to stop the clock. You know?
I tend to agree. The other thing, they finally stop it. I'll be interested to see if they put more time on the clock. You got to realize, too, their fullback that they've used as a running back a little bit is one of the up backs. They've got athletes back there. They've got a good punter, but in short situations like this, as they call one of those up backs over, the head coach is giving him some information. Keep that in mind. They've got athletes back there if they were to try something at some point, David.
We might have another one of those sideline violations. That would give them a 1st down. I don't know what the conversation is. I do know Billy Holbert and Teresa Holbert are listening and watching our broadcast here. They've had several of these, and it's, you know, we're used to it when we come down here, but I just have no idea what this conversation is about.
Yeah, there's not a lot of clarity, and that's part of the issue when, you know, fans start to think there's a bias is, you know, just be clear, be consistent, be clear. And it's harder to do in high school because there's not microphones and you can't hear the exact explanation. But it looks like, you know, they're going to give them a 1st down. They're trotting their offense back on the field here. We'll have to see what this is. Once again, there's going to be a penalty of some sort assessed against Oak Ridge, and I have yet to see a flag be dropped. A sideline violation again.
They have got to get back to the fence. If I were Coach Rang, I'd say put your backside on the fence, although there's only like 6 feet there, and it is a 1st down. So that's one of the squirreliest 1st downs I've ever seen.
Yeah, and that's, you know, playing on the road, now you flip the field, a 15-yard penalty, and it's just very frustrating. And you know, those sideline violations can be on the players, they can be on the coaching staff, so who knows?
That was 15 yards.
Yeah, that totally flips the field, flips the momentum. Oak Ridge's best drive defensively of the game, and off or not. But you've got to refocus, you've got to regroup here. You can't let that linger here.
6:33 to play. The clock is stopped. You know, they ticked off, 25 seconds while they talked about it. Let's see. The clock is stopped officially now at 6:33. The play clock is reset to 40. You can hear the Oak Ridge fans are just continuing to boo across the field. As Cherokee fans happy, they lead at 7-3. Wildcats have just been unable to move the ball. They really, I know we want to get it in our playmakers' hands. I think they're just going to have to, when we get the ball back on offense eventually, to give the ball to our horse in the backfield too.
Yeah, they've really yet to stop him when they've gone to him consistently after another lengthy conversation. This time the officials are at least clarifying something, or maybe they're just letting Coach Rang vent, but there's a conversation of some sort happening, and now finally we're going to get the ball back in play. Mind you, it's been so long since we've actually had a snap that about 15 seconds probably ran off that clock. They have not put more time on the clock, so if this game is as close as it was last year at the end of the game, that's something important to remember. There's some ticking seconds that have ticked off where really shouldn't have been.
And here we go. And they've got 40 on the clock, so this is going to end up being like, I don't know when he's going to start the clock. This might be one of the worst officiating teams I've ever seen.
And now there's another flag on Oak Ridge. They've essentially given Coach Rang the equivalent of a technical foul, and I think he's going to be ejected, David.
He is walking off, and that's going to be another 15 yards, and I don't blame him. We warned him about coming down here. This is what we get, and this is why we really have honestly said that we don't want to play him in the regular season. I mean, but, it's football, and you go on the road, you expect something like that, and Coach Gaddis is taking Coach Rang off the sideline.
Well, and here's something that's interesting. These things in basketball and baseball, when an ump tosses a guy, it never really stays the same. Something either drastically happens, positive or negative, and Oak Ridge's Izzy Mitchell is out there leading his teammates. Tim Walters is leading his teammates. They're fired up. This is going to spark one team or the other, David. You have to hope Oak Ridge takes this and it fuels their fire.
It is. The Cherokee fans that were in their press box, the whole press box is rumbling. The Oak Ridge fans got into it, but Coach Gaddis just took Coach Rang off the field. So right now, they didn't put any yardage on it. They just tossed him out of the game, I guess. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go. Now they stop the play again.
And David, you're the expert here. You know more about Oak Ridge football than just about anybody alive. Who is the coach in waiting here? Who would take over in this situation, or is that something we need to?
It would probably either be Coach Day, Coach Parton, or Coach Hawkins. It'd be one of those. I've never seen this happen before.
And I would assume, I thought Coach Hawkins as well, but he's above us in the press box, so I'm assuming it's going to be Coach Parton or Day on the sideline.
Both fan bases are making an incredible amount of noise. It's first and 10. Ball at the 48-yard line for the Cherokees. 7-3 the ball game. Handoff to the running back, and he's tackled after a gain of about 2.
And now it's fixing to get chippy, David. You can see offensive linemen playing a little bit after the whistle. And again, Oak Ridge, you don't want to back down, but you've got to keep your head about you. Nice first down stop, only a couple yards on that one. It'll be second and long here.
TJ Hibben in the ball game playing defense right now for the Wildcats. Second down, 8 yards to go. 6:07 and counting in the third quarter. 7-3 is our score. The Cherokees in the lead. Let's see if we can look across the field there and see who is directing it. We need to actually clarify that. Call Brian and see what's going on down there. It'll be second down, 8 yards to go. Quarterback hands it to the booting back, and he is tackled after a gain of about 3. Boy, the Oak Ridge students in this section across the way, they are making just an incredible amount of noise as the tackle is made by Bradley and others.
And like I said, this is going to spark it one way or the other. This game is going to shift in momentum from what just happened with Oak Ridge's coach getting ejected. And it's up to the players on the field whether they take that momentum and they use it, that energy, and put it towards a positive action or not.
Ball is at the 41-yard line. The Cherokees have it third down, a long 3.5 yards to go.
Rusty Parton is now the active head coach on the sideline.
5:09 to play, third quarter. Quarterback for the Cherokees. There was movement on the line by the Cherokees. I see no flag. They have a first down. There was movement across the line early, but no call. At least that's what I saw. First and 10 Cherokees. It has really gotten loud in here.
No, it is. It's a great environment for football. It's unfortunate the events that sparked this, but again, you just kind of know coming down here. It doesn't make it right or wrong, but you just kind of know coming down here what you're getting into. And unfortunately for Coach Rang, he found out the hard way.
First down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the 37-yard line. It is 7-3. We're down to 4:38 to play. I've never seen a coach ejected, at least an Oak Ridge coach. I remember Saudi Daisy having one of their guys ejected at one point years and years ago down there. Let's see what Oak Ridge defense can do. 3-man front, hand off to the back, and he is buried at the line of scrimmage and pushed back. Here's pushing and shoving. We don't need any more of that.
And Vashon just got tackled after the play.
And there's a flag finally coming in.
But it's not going to shock me if this is on us.
Thank you a lot, Coach Cummings, for scheduling this game. I mean, really.
And the other 5 consecutive ones.
And we'll see. The official comes over. Will come over.
5 consecutive road games, I should.
Five
not
consecutive.
5 consecutive McMinn County.
Personal foul against the Cherokees. Personal foul against the Wildcats. They offset. So it'll be second down and 8 yards to go. 4:12 to play in the third quarter in a 7-3 ball game. Mike, let's get your comments about what's going on here.
It's very upsetting. I've been doing this 30 years, and I've never seen an Oak Ridge coach get ejected before, but he was livid over this. I'm sorry, folks, but this was unfair. That sideline is too small over there, the way it slopes like Alex told you, and there's just not room over there. And then to get penalized like that, it's petty, I think.
It'll be second down, 9 yards to go, 4:12 to play. Going to put the ball down at the 36-yard line. The Wildcat offense, got to give a lot of credit, Mike, to McMinn County's defense. They have really stalled out the Wildcat offense.
Oh, they definitely have. And give credit to this offense, too. The way the things are going, they're just continually grinding and grinding and grinding away at the clock.
Second down, 9 yards to go. From the shotgun, quarterback's going to hand it to the back, trying to go to the sideline. Boom! He is blasted by Brandon Hayward. At the line of scrimmage, it's third down and 9 yards to go.
We talked about the defensive ends, the linebackers, and that time it was the cornerback Hayward. Brandon Hayward, setting the edge from that cornerback position. The running back wanted to get out wide. They don't have the speed advantage. I don't know why they're trying to do that, but Oak Ridge, regardless, doing a nice job defensively, setting the edge, forcing them back inside to where there's more help, and it brings up a third and long.
Alex, you're going to have to answer my phone here. My phone is getting blown up by fans and all kinds of people watching it. Big play in the ball game, third down, 9 yards to go. They haven't shown the ability to throw the ball. Third down, 9 yards to go. For the Cherokees, quarterback hands it to the back. He's hitting the backfield, and down he goes. Vashon hits him. He gains about 3 on the play. It'll be fourth down facing McMinn County. The Wildcats just need to get back into the huddle and just play some football.
And now there's
that
a flag. I think it's on McMinn County, finally.
It is.
Well, the last one was too, but the Wildcats don't need to be overly celebrating or they'll get one as well. They need to calm down. And the official is going to say it is going to be dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike conduct, or is he flying?
He's ejected. Somebody's ejected.
Well, he never really signaled who it was on, and they're going to have to punt. Boy.
I think he threw somebody out, David.
Well, he didn't even signal who the penalty was on in the first place. I'm not sure about that. I think he just forgot who the penalty was on. He just kind of had his arms outstretched. They're going to punt. It's fourth down and about 23 yards to go. The ball is at the 49-yard line, 3:12 to play.
David, that was, Mark Case lets us know, that was a 13-yard penalty. Didn't know that existed.
And here's the snap. Punt. Beautiful punt. Knuckleball. It's going to take a bounce and it's going to go into the end zone. That's going to be a touchback. Man, it almost rolled dead, and the Wildcats are... Vashon either got popped up here or he popped somebody at the 50-yard line, and they're signaling holding, I think, on one of the Cherokees. It'll be first and 10. The Wildcats have got to get their offense going, but I'll just be happy to get out of here with everybody intact. I know Coach Derek Rang is watching our broadcast now. Coach, we'll try to do the best we can and keep you updated on what's going on. It'll be eventually the Wildcats first and 10. They got to get their offense rolling.
Yeah, they do. And here's, to me, one of the most interesting things and aspects. We know Coach Rang. When I think about him, I think his specialty with quarterbacks, working with these guys, running the offense from a play-calling standpoint, he really excels. Now, they're marking the penalty yardage back off. I guess it was against McMinn County. It's a 15-yard penalty, so it'll be first down and 10 for the Wildcats from their own 35. How will the offense change? How will things look, or will it, without Coach Rang on the sidelines calling plays? Again, if you're just tuning in, Coach Rusty Parton acting as head coach after Coach Rang's ejection.
Coach Parton has done a lot of football in his time, as the Wildcats are going to hand it off to Dozier, and Dozier is going to move the ball for a gain of about 3. 2:56 to play in the third quarter in a 7-3 ball game. Coach Parton's been around the block a few times, and he knows this offense front and back, and he's, we're in good hands.
No, absolutely. He's a consummate professional, and you don't really see Coach Parton. I think of him as a guy, it's hard to tell whether you're winning or losing when he's out there. You watch him, and he just looks so calm.
Second down, 7 yards to go for the Wildcats, 2:28 and counting, third quarter. Blaine's pass caught by Will. He is tackled hard. That's a helmet-to-helmet tackle right there. It's going to be third down and about 3. They're going to either have to go up the field with the ball. They're really kind of just playing really close and tight to our receiver. It's going to be third and about 3.
Yeah, and I hope Will's okay. He kind of appeared to stumble a little bit when he got up. I hope he's all right. It'll be third and medium, so run is in play, pass is in play. Got a lot of wide-open playbook if you're the Wildcats.
Third down, 3 yards to go. Blaine tried to get them to jump off there. They did not. Minute 55 to play, third quarter, 7-3 the score. Blaine Stansberry, Javis, Dozier, first down, 10 yards to go in Cherokee territory, down to the 42-yard line. He took a shot at the end, but it's a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down.
Hey, he took a shot, but I'll tell you what, once he got hit, he still fell forward about 4 more yards. He's in some pain. This is a grown man's football game at this point. You knew it would be start to finish. Wildcats with some momentum.
Minute 35 to play, third quarter. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the Cherokee 41-yard line. Blaine, a high snap, rolls. Looks to pass. He's going to throw it quickly. Does. Passes. Incomplete. Let's see if we have pass interference or a hold.
It's up near the line of scrimmage, so I think it may be a lineman downfield, potentially holding. I didn't see a lineman downfield, but that's around the area. Blaine, I think, was trying to get the ball to Brandon Hayward downfield. There was a gap, but it just took too long for that to develop. It is going to be an ineligible receiver downfield, so one of Oak Ridge's linemen was downfield. I didn't see it, but it will be – the only good part is it'll remain first down. Unfortunately, it will be backed up.
5-yard penalty on the penalty of ineligible receiver downfield. A minute 21 to play. The Wildcats have really struggled against a really, really good McMinn defense.
Yeah, they're very good. They're very physical. They're going to hit you. They're going to pop you up front early and often, and this is just a long game.
Here's Dozier moving the ball, not far though. Moves the ball up to the 44-yard line. It'll be second down and about 14 yards to go. A minute 21 to play, third quarter, 7-3 in what has been a spirited ball game here at McMinn County.
Yeah, the passion. I mean, sometimes it helps you, sometimes it hurts you, but it's what makes high school football so special. It means so much to these communities, these coaches, these players. I'd like to see Oak Ridge get the ball out on the edge right here, use that speed to their advantage.
The official having words with the McMinn County coach now. Blaine's going to go deep. Passes there. Passes is overthrown. Incomplete. Just slightly.
There was a tug there. Yeah, there was a tug on Rimbert as he was going downfield. There was some contact, not a ton, but there was enough for Oak Ridge to make an argument for pass interference. It wasn't called. It was on the Oak Ridge sideline. Nonetheless, incomplete pass. And it'll bring up third down and long here for Oak Ridge. Now, one interesting aspect about this, you're on the plus side of the field. You're in McMinn County territory. You might think about going for this. You don't have to get all 15 yards in one play.
Third down, 14. Once again, Dozier gets the handoff. Dozier breaks a tackle. Dozier down the sideline. Dozier out of bounds, about 3 yards short of a first down. It'll be fourth down and about 3. The ball at the McMinn County 35-yard line. The Wildcats want to go quickly here. 49 seconds to play. Clock is stopped because of the out of bounds. Wildcats fourth down, 3. Big play in the ball game, Alex.
Huge play. Nall's in there. You know he can catch it. You know he can block it. I'd keep my eyes on Dozier right here if I was McMinn County.
Movement across the line, but this time I think by the Wildcats.
Yeah, both sides moved, but they're going to say Oak Ridge drew him offside. It looked like one of the guys on the left side there with the false start, and that's going to bring Oak Ridge's punting unit out. And I think this is the right decision. Backed up like this, passing game hasn't been on here in the third quarter. I think the right move is to try to pin this team back. And no, I think Oak Ridge is they're gonna keep. I think their offense is still out on the field. The punter's not out on the field. Punter. There we go.
Yeah,
I was gonna say the punting unit looked like they're on there, but I didn't see Pearson.
Eli hasn't punted the ball a whole lot. 49.5 seconds to play, third quarter, 7-3. Fourth down.
Getting ready to get a play clock.
8 yards to go, and snap, punt, kick, high, kick, fair catch is signaled for and made at around the 5-yard line. You're right. They should have had a delay of game called against Oak Ridge. The play clock was down to nothing, and they were able to get the punt off. First and 10, McMinn County, 42 seconds to play, third quarter, 7-3 our score.
Yeah, Oak Ridge caught 2 breaks. One, that they weren't penalized on the play clock violation. The second was that McMinn County, typically you're taught to put your heels on the 10, maybe the 8-yard line. If it goes over your head, take your chances on it going into the end zone. He had his heels at about the 7, and he caught it, caught it. So instead of potentially bouncing and rolling into the end zone, he took the risk to catch it at the 7. Now the Wildcats got a chance to keep him pinned back deep.
We are live from McMinn County High School, the third quarter. 7-3 the score. First and 10 Cherokees. Handoff to the running back, and he is driven back right at the line of scrimmage, and that is the final play of this quarter. We're going to take a break here. Oak Ridge trails 7-3. We'll be back to McMinn County High School following this 90-second timeout. They need to get the ball to Dozier's hand. They need to get a handoff to run the two.
The end of the third quarter. Cherokee 7, Wildcats 3.
This is awful.
It is.
I'm not. Yeah, if we play them next year, I'm not coming. Not doing it. Especially my senior year. I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, the referees are awful.
You need to answer these things I'm getting from people.
Answer who? All of them?
Lee Younger, I don't know the answer to that one.
Lee Younger. This is wild. Yeah, I know.
Scores from around the area. Halftime, McMinn Central 30, Sweetwater 10.
18 spots left.
What's that?
18 spots left.
Okay.
Final. Third quarter, Cleveland 48, Ray County 14.
Cleveland's good.
Halftime, Meigs County 14, Stone Memorial 13.
Spell Derek Williams. Is it?
What's that?
Is Derek spelled that way?
D-E-R-E-K. David Clary back here along with Alex Myers, Mike Sheehan, Kason Robinson, along with John Ulrich and Josh Frazier. Caleb Riker doing camera work for us. Brian Bennett back at the studios of FM 92.7. Mike, we go to the fourth quarter here. The Wildcats down 7-3. The Wildcat offense sputtering a little bit tonight.
Well, this has been a really tough defensive battle for the Wildcats. I mean, the Cherokees have really pressured them, David, especially on the pass defense. They've done a really good job on their pass defense. They got some big guys up front. This has been a battle for the Wildcats, and I hope we can come out of here with a W, but it's been a toughly contested football game.
2nd and 8, handoff to the running back, and he is tackled behind the 10, and the clock continues to move. It's going to be 3rd down and 9. The good news is we've got him pinned back right now. Obviously, we can't have a penalty right here. The good news is they haven't shown the ability to be able to throw the ball.
No, they have not. Brandon Hayward, really spread him out that far that time. Didn't give him hardly any room at all. It brings up 3rd down and about 8 now for the Cherokees back with their back to the goal line on the 8-yard line.
Last year, the Wildcats won 13-12 here at McMinn County High School in the second round of the playoffs on a block kick. You might remember a field goal attempt of 30-some-odd yards. Big play in the ball game, I think. 3rd down, 8 yards to go. Handoff to the running back, and he is going nowhere. He's tackled at the 10. It's 4th down, and they'll be punting from their own end zone. But they've got a booming leg punter, and the Wildcats should get good field position.
They should, and to be honest with you, I'm all about being aggressive on the football field. I don't think I would rush the kicker here too much to try to block. The reason I wouldn't sell out, David, with the way this officiating's gone, I wouldn't get within arm's length of this kicker. Let him punt it. He's got a good leg. He'll kick it far, but give your offense a chance to get up, set up with good field position, set up a return. You've got Valen Henderson and Price Davis, 2 dangerous men with the ball in their hand, set up back deep. Their heels are going to end up being around the 50-yard line. I say let's set up a good return.
4th down, 6 yards to go. As I said, he's punting from his own end zone. The snap is good. The punt is away. It's high, wobbling, coming over towards the sideline. And it's going to take a good McMinn County bounce all the way to the 40-yard line of the Wildcats. It'll be 1st and 10 Oak Ridge. Wildcats need to find some offense as the clock continues to tick here.
Yeah, I mean, it's inexcusable. There's no reason for this. No, not to mention the 20 seconds, 15, 20 seconds or so that ticked off the clock earlier. There's about 8 more seconds that ticks off. So the one thing that I don't think Oak Ridge needs to do, David, is I don't think they need to panic. You don't need to score in one play. We've seen McMinn County take off the clock, but you have 2 timeouts and you've got 10 minutes left. Just run your offense. I think Oak Ridge needs to get the ball in Dozier's hands, and they need to get it on the outside where he can use his speed and athleticism to make defenders miss.
1st and 10 Wildcats, 10 minutes to play in the ball game. Blaine Stansberry to Dozier. Dozier is going to be dragged down behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose about 3. He had no place to go. Couldn't get outside, and that's going to be a big loss on the play.
Yeah, he may have to do it with the swing pass, but right now, you hate to say it, but reality is reality, David. McMinn County's winning the line of scrimmage battle between the tackles. So you've got the speed advantage. I don't think you have the strength advantage between the tackles. So while I'm not saying you totally have to abandon running between the tackles, but setting yourself up in second long, it's just not working right now. You've got to get the ball outside and let your speed be your advantage.
Second down, 13 yards to go, 9:25 to play. Blaine to pass, goes to go deep. Man's open, passes there, incomplete. Another drop. That time is Will Presley. That was in his hands. I think that was going to go perhaps for 6. Nicely thrown pass. It'll be third down and 13 yards to go.
That's tough. Good protection up front. Good ball by Blaine. He stood in the pocket and delivered a strike downfield. It hit Will in the hands. He'll tell you, anybody on that sideline tell you, he should have caught that one. A missed opportunity. Tough break for the Wildcats.
Brandon Hayward split to the left side. The Wildcats have Almani Rembert to the right. Backfield, going to hand it off to Dozier. Dozier squirts the ball forward, and he almost picks up a first down. He's going to be short, though. It'll be fourth down at about 2 at the McMinn County 44-yard line. It'll be about 2 yards to go, maybe a long one.
And I don't know that I would go for it, but I love what Coach Parton is doing. Is he's doing exactly what Coach Rang would do, which is go for it. So you're not changing your identity, you're sticking with it, and that's why I love this call. Bashawn Nall's in there as the H-back to block. Let's see what they do.
Fourth down, a yard to go. Stansbury from the shotgun. High snap. Dozier gets the handoff. Dozier, 1st and 10. Wildcats spinning his way down to the McMinn County 35-yard line. That's a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down. Great run there by DeJavis Dozier.
And this is the point of the year where you're starting to really, truly lean into your identity. Who are you? You're a powerful football team that's got great athletes, but you're a hard-nosed team, and you're not afraid to trust those big guys up front in fourth and short. They've done it all year. Although Coach Rang's not on the sideline, they did it there, and it paid off.
8 minutes, 30 seconds to play. Handoff, Dozier. Dozier moves the ball forward for a gain of about 3. We're down to 8:21 to play. The Wildcats down 7-3 to the McMinn County Cherokees. All the scoring early in the ball game.
Yeah, Oak Ridge has got to be careful now. Some chirping going on away from the ball, has nothing to do with the ball, and it's happening on both sides, but you don't want to cost yourself yardage after you finally got some momentum here. 2nd and 6 from the 31.
8 minutes to play in the game. Blaine, pass, fires. It's going to be incomplete.
And Almani's frustrated. He's had to stretch out for several of those tonight, and Blaine will tell you himself, I'm sure he was a little bit off target. Not far. The good part is if you're going to miss that, miss it low so that the defensive backs can't miss it. If you miss that high, the safety coming over the top can pick that off. That wasn't the case, so it falls harmlessly to the ground.
Third down, 6 yards to go. Stansbury, the sophomore quarterback. Before that, play is halted.
False start.
Not exactly sure. I guess it is. It's going to be illegal procedure against the Wildcats. 5-yard step off. That's a big penalty right here. 7:52 to play in the ball game. 7-3 the score. And the ball's walked back to the 36-yard line.
So it ends up being 3rd and 10 here. But to me, if you're calling plays, if you're Coach Parton, this is 2nd and 10. A field goal doesn't do you anything to get you to 7-6. So you're trying to score a touchdown. You don't have to get all 10 yards right here. You got 2 plays to work with.
2nd and 11. Blaine rolls to pass. Fires a pass. It's caught. And it's, they say, out of bounds. Will Presley was the intended receiver, and I guess he couldn't stay in bounds. Now it's 4th down and 10 yards to go.
Pretty good ball. Will Presley did a nice job at hanging on through contact, but I guess even though he held on, his feet must have been out of bounds. It's hard for us to see. So here it is, David, 4th down, and I think Coach Parton, they're thinking about a timeout.
They only have 2 left.
And they're going to use it.
Let's think about it. They want the right play here. Timeout is asked for. We'll take it with them ourselves. 7-3 our score. 7:46 to play in the ballgame. Back to McMinn County in 60 seconds.
quarterback deep for the Cherokees.
The Wildcats in punt formation. The punt is high. It's very short. And it's going to take an Oak Ridge bounce, and it's going to go rolling inside the 10. So the Wildcats are going to play a little defense here. Unfortunately, they have had a good stop the last couple times. In fact, if you go back, the last time they really were able to move the ball, you have to go back to that opening drive.
Yeah, you do. And unfortunately for Oak Ridge, it just took so much time. You only had, I think, 2 possessions the entire first half. But now you're playing a field position game. And you don't see this as much as you did 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, where you got these low-scoring games and you just sort of lean into your strength, which to this point has been Oak Ridge's defense. And McMinn County, it's been their defense as well. And unfortunately, with McMinn County not being a drop-back passing team, not doing a bunch of trickery, safety's probably not in play, but you just need to keep in front of you. Keep them, get 3 and out right here, back them up, and give your offense another shot.
First down, 10 yards to go. Hand off to the back. He's hit at the line of scrimmage and no place to go. Have they thrown a pass in this game?
They threw one, I think, on the first drive, and I don't think they've thrown another one. Nice job by Gormley to get there first, but he was wrestled down by several Wildcats, Tim Walters included.
Second down, 9 yards to go. The ball is at the 9-yard line of the Cherokees. 7:10 to play. They'll milk the clock. They've done it the whole ball game. They had a 9+ minute drive to open the ball game to score the lone touchdown in this game. Play clock is down to 15. Second down, 9 yards to go. The Wildcats only have 1 timeout remaining. Quarterback to the running back, trying to get wide.
Nice
Tries to, no place to go. He goes down. He's down to the 8-yard line. A loss of a yard on the play. It'll be third down. Officially, they put him down at the 9.
Yeah, sorry. Gormley finished that play, but that play, again, was totally created and by Price Davis. He set the edge. It looked like they had several blockers out, and I thought they were going to actually finally be able to get the edge, and Price Davis was patient, went out there, ran through a blocker, forced that running back inside, and that delay of him having to stop and turn back inside allowed Gormley to get there. Big third down here, 3rd and long. Will they pass? Would they do such a thing deep in their own territory?
Defensive backs got to be ready for it. Third down, 9 yards to go, 6:07 to play. Play clock is down to 2-1. Quarterback rolls to his right. He's up the field, and he's got a first down. Good run. Across the 20-yard line, and that's a big play in the ballgame. Wildcats, like I said, only have 1 timeout left. They can only stop at 1 time, and as much time as they take off the clock, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, and that was, honestly, you just got to tip your hat right there. Great run by the quarterback. Great play call. He sold it. It was never going to throw that ball. He was never going to throw it, but he looked downfield and brought the ball up just long enough to where it froze Oak Ridge's secondary, and they couldn't totally commit to him running the ball. And that little pause gave him enough of a gap to be able to get downfield for the first down. Just a really nice play call.
Cherokees have done a really good job of holding on to the football. We're down to 5:25 to play. First down, 10 yards to go. Here's the snap. They hand off to the running back, and he is moving the ball up the field, and he's in the open field. 40, 45, 50, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. Pushed out of bounds at the 5-yard line. 5:08 to play. I see no flags. It'll be first and goal for the Cherokees.
Great play. They finally get to the outside, but they did what they've had success doing. They didn't start outside. They went between the tackles. And again, it's their smaller tailback. It's a guy who's 5'6", listed as 132 pounds. It's Jacob Sharp, but he is so quick. He's quicker than he is fast, and he can make guys miss, and he ran through a guy before he was able to finally get outside for that huge gain.
Officially, the ball's at the 3-yard line. What is it?
It should be a false start, but they called timeout. I was going to say they had a guy running onto the field, running forward when they snapped the ball, but they're going to say the Cherokees got away and called their first timeout of the half.
5:08 to play in the ball game. Cherokees on top of the Wildcats 7-3. We'll be back to Athens in 30 seconds.
75.
David Clary back here along with Alex Myers, Mike Sheehan with us here at McMinn County. Revolting development. If you're an Oak Ridge fan here, they've got the ball inside the 5-yard line. It's first and goal at the 3-yard line.
A tough spot right here if you're Oak Ridge with only one timeout. If they score a touchdown, it becomes a 2-possession game, and you're going to be hard-pressed to try to come back in this one. So you've got to do everything you can. But, again, McMinn County's not in a hurry. They'd love to take 3 or 4 plays to punch this in.
Hats off to the Cherokee defense here as the Wildcats give up a touchdown. 5:04 to play, and the clock ticked off 2 extra seconds, but it won't matter. It's a touchdown for the Cherokees, and you're exactly right. It is a 2-possession ball game. The Wildcats haven't really shown the ability, even with their speed advantage, to get the ball down the field. And you got to credit this McMinn County defense. They have been tough all night long.
Yeah, and McMinn County's done a great job of, they haven't done anything spectacular. There's been no interceptions. There's been no turnovers that they've forced, but they've simply kept Oak Ridge in front of them all night. And Oak Ridge has had a couple shots to beat them downfield that they haven't taken advantage of, but they've essentially forced Oak Ridge to be consistent going down the field, and they haven't been able to do it. So there's going to be a flag on a offsides for Oak Ridge, and then I think it's going to be compounded. There was another late flag. Are they going to call running into the kicker or no?
No.
Thank goodness they're not.
They'll go.
One thing I was going to say, Dave, is you don't ever want to give up points, but if you're going to give up a touchdown with only one timeout, it may almost be strategically smarter to go ahead and have given that up on first down, and at least you can save yourself some time.
I see what you're saying, but
I know.
Yeah. 13-3 the score. Ball is down. The kick is up. And there is running into the kicker, but I see no flag, but the kick is good. 14-3 our score. 5:03 to play. The Wildcats' undefeated season in the balance. We'll be back to talk about it in 60 seconds. And we appreciate the Old Town Inn for being one of our new sponsors this year. Here's the kick by McMinn County. Once again, end-over-end kick, and it's in the end zone. Mike, you made a comment during the break here just about their kicker has been a big, big weapon for them in this ball game.
He certainly has, David. If he doesn't get a college scholarship I'll be very surprised. He has not allowed the Oak Ridge Wildcats to return a kickoff this whole night long. He's kicking it between the end zone. He averages about 60 yards a punt. You know, during practice, I commented on how good he was, and nothing's changed my mind in the course of this game. Spencer Sullins is a great kicker.
5:03 to play in the ball game. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball's at the 20. Dozier gets the handoff. Dozier moves for a yard or two. Wildcats have one timeout remaining. Their trail 14-3. Next week, the Wildcats will be traveling to Clinton, take on the Clinton Dragons. That'll be a 7 o'clock kickoff from Clinton. We appreciate. Hopefully, we'll have a great crowd there. It's always a great one. It's a region ball game. Always fun to go to Clinton.
And I'll tell you what, Clinton's the biggest fan of what's happening right now. This is a bruising, physical game.
Blaine's going to throw it. Pass at the sidelines is going to be caught by Brandon Hayward. That's a Tim Bank of Oak Ridge first down up the field at the 33-yard line. But, of course, clock ticks off an extra 3 or 4 seconds. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go.
A question for you. We may have to find out afterwards. Since it's doesn't happen often, I don't know. When Rang was ejected, does that carry over into the next game at all? Maybe a half or no?
You know, I've never seen it happen before, so I don't know, honestly, as Dozier gets the handoff and Dozier moves the ball to 35. Wildcats have got to be in a little bit more of a
I don't understand what they're trying to run between the tackles at this point in the game. It hasn't been there really all second half. I know you haven't had a lot of success through the air, but even those little flip outs to the running back, that's technically a pass, but it's essentially a run. You got to do something to get these guys either downfield or out to the side in space.
Blaine's going to throw it deep. Passes up for grabs. Almost a great catch at the 30-yard line, but once again, just out of the reach. And Blaine got popped pretty good as he delivered the pass. It's 3rd and 7, 3 minutes, 56 seconds to play. Wildcats need a first down here just to continue the drive. It's 3rd down and 7. Wildcats have tried those deep shots all night long and haven't really been able to connect on them.
No, and again, there's no doubt about it. With one timeout left, down 2 possessions, this is 2-down territory, 3rd and 7 with 3:56 to go.
Handoff goes to Dozier. Dozier runs hard, but he's going to have about a yard to go for a first down. It's going to be 4th down. Bad news is it's 3:46 to play. I mentioned Wildcats used an early timeout, and then they used a timeout to prepare for that punt. It's 4th down and a yard to go, and they got to get to the line and go. They need a first down. It's less than a yard to go. Shotgun, 3.5 minutes to play. 4th down, 1 yard to go. Dozier gets the handoff. Dozier has a first down, but he is stuck at the 45-yard line. That'll be a first down, and they do stop the clock immediately at 3:27 to play in the game.
Yeah, thankfully the clock stops. But like you said, you got a first down, you got a new set. You can't run between the tackle on 1st and 2nd down right here. Maybe I'll be proven wrong, but you've got to start taking some more shots. And it doesn't have to be a 30, 40-yard pass, but you've got to start moving the ball downfield.
First down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the Oak Ridge 44-yard line. The Oak Ridge band making some noise. Rolling out. Blaine now will have to run it. Blaine moves the ball to midfield. He's tackled in Cherokee territory at the 48-yard line. There's only 3 minutes to go, though. You got to give a lot of credit. I've said it all night long. McMinn County's defense, their pass coverage has been outstanding up the field. Blaine's had some time, but there's just nobody been open.
And they're giving Oak Ridge enough space to where you can tell Blaine's thinking about throwing it, but they're close enough yet where you can't risk that.
2:45 and counting. Play clock down to 20. Waiting for that play to come in. Stansbury has it. 2:39 to play. Wildcats need a quick strike right here. They're backing up in the secondary. Blaine rolls to his right. Got to work the sidelines. Blaine's about to get sacked. Went back. There's no place to go. They got to work the sidelines. I mean, with no timeouts, the only way you can stop the clock with only one timeout is to work the sidelines. And the clock continues to tick, and it's going to be...
Oak Ridge called a timeout.
And that stops the clock with 2:21 to play. You got to work the sidelines to stop the clock.
You do, and Blaine, this is not a critique. It's just, the reality of a young quarterback in his toughest moment as a starter. To me, David, I don't know, you guys have watched more football than I have. To me, he looks like he's a little bit gun-shy and trigger-shy right now. And as tight as they're playing this late in the game, I know you don't want to take risks early. You got to start taking some chances. And I know they're playing good defense, but Blaine, if it's there for a split second, you got to let it go. Mike, I know you've seen a lot of football. Does he look a little hesitant to you, or what are you seeing?
Well, yeah, he's just a sophomore. He's got a lot to learn, especially about play control at the end of the game. Things get really tight and tense, and he's trying his best. But I tell you, Cherokees are really giving us a fit on defense.
And David, one more thing. I don't want folks that maybe they tuned in late to let this go unnoticed. We talk about the plays taking a little bit longer to get in. There's a difference with Coach Rang not being out there. That all has to factor. It's not all on the quarterback. I don't want people to mistake what I'm saying.
Most definitely. As now timeout is asked for by McMinn County. Let's take a quick one ourselves. We'll be back. 14-3 is our score. The Wildcats and Cherokees back to McMinn County in 30 seconds. David Clary back here along with Alex Myers. Closing moments of this ball game. 14-3 our score. McMinn County on top. It's third down, 13 yards to go. The ball is at the Oak Ridge 42-yard line. 2:21 to play in the ball game. Blaine Stansbury, sophomore quarterback, straight drop, has some time. It's breaking down on him now. Goes across the way. Pass is batted away. Nice play by number 41. Pass was intended to Brandon Hayward. It is incomplete.
That's tough situation. Dave, keep that window open. It's fourth and, what are they going to call it, 13, a long 13 here. This is a ball game. It'll be tough for Oak Ridge to come back either way, but certainly if there's any hope to try to score and get an onside kick and try to heave one last second, you've got to convert here. I think you got to go to Old Faithful. I got to think 13's in the mix to get this ball to Hayward.
Fourth down, 13 yards to go. Blaine looks, now rolls to his right. He's going to go deep. Up for grabs. Pass is picked off at the 35-yard line. And the tackle is made by the Wildcats at the 40, and that'll do it. McMinn County seals it on a 4th and long. Wildcats throw the interception, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Cherokees, and the Wildcats can't stop the clock.
No, that's a tough one. This is going to be a tough one. But you got to keep your head towards the end of the game here as you're going through the line, as these last few snaps happen. If you're Oak Ridge, this is a non-region game. You never want to take a loss. There's no more victories when you're playing at a program like Oak Ridge, but you've got to remember, don't do anything at the end here silly that's going to cost you from playing in a big game next week.
First down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the 40-yard line. The Cherokees, Wildcats defeated them last year. It's the third straight time I think we've been to McMinn County. The Wildcats won last year's game. They won the year before. That game ended at the 1-yard line, and they've had some great ones. This one a little bit more of a, obviously a defensive struggle here. The Wildcats need to, best hope to strip the ball here, but the odds are not good as we're down to 2:09 to play. It'll be second down facing McMinn County. And
that's one thing is Oak Ridge's defense, which has been able to force some turnovers against a team like this that's so used to just running the ball and protecting the ball. It's hard to do. And so once Oak Ridge got down by 2 possessions, it's just hard to create that momentum, especially when they're going to take so much time off the clock between every play. And that's just smart football from McMinn Counties. You got to tip your cap.
Very impressive defense the Cherokees have. Very impressive.
No, definitely. Oak Ridge's offense has looked sharp for the majority of the year, except for a few possessions here and there. They've looked really good. Tonight they did not, and you have to give credit to McMinn County for that.
Hand off to the running back, second down. He tries to get outside. He's popped and dropped, and the flag goes down on the play. And it looked like Price Davis might have been hit below the knees. And let's see what the call is. The play is stopped, 1:23 to play. They're going to call holding against McMinn County. 14-3 is our score. As we broadcast here at Athens, next week we'll be in Clinton. The following week, I believe, we'll be at Central High School.
And you want to decline this because if you accept it, they can run another 40 seconds off the play clock, 40 seconds. So Oak Ridge is signaling decline, and that's the right move. You've got to get this thing to 4th down, even though any other time in the ball game you'd accept that.
And they are going to decline it. 1:23 to play in the game, 14-3. Wildcats had a 27 or 28-yard field goal, and that was it. The play clock is moving, and by the time they get this one off, it'll be about a minute to go in the ball game. It's 3rd down and 5, but the Wildcats just can't stop the clock anymore. 3rd down, 6 yards to go. Alex will be heading down to speak to Coach Parton as there's a first down run across the 50, and that's going to do it. And congratulations to the McMinn County Cherokees. The Wildcats came into this game 3-0 mark. They came in at 2-2, but their losses to Bradley Central and to Cleveland, and there are a lot of points scored. If anything, the Wildcats did a pretty decent job really holding their offense down, obviously, because they had the one drive.
Absolutely, Dave. They're really played us tough tonight. I mean, offensively and defensively, their quarterback has really impressed me. Bradley Mullins, he's only 6'1", 175, but he's executed this game to perfection. As they're going to take a knee, and that'll be it. The clock runs down, and the Wildcats have lost their first game of the year 14-3. A disappointing loss, but hopefully a learning experience. We'll go to the Dragon Land next week and hopefully slay some dragon.
It is a non-region ball game here as the two teams get ready to shake hands at midfield. Final seconds are ticking down. Both bands playing loudly. 14-3 is the final score. We'll have player interviews, and one of the questions I think we need to ask of Coach Gaddis really is what the ramifications are. I'm not sure why Coach Gaddis is out talking with the officials and one other person. I'm not sure who that is, but it looks like Coach Gaddis looks like he's being escorted off the field. I don't think so, but
It looked to me like they wanted to talk to him, David.
yeah, and having words perhaps with their athletic director. 14-3 is our final score. Let's take a break here. Send it back to Brian Bennett. We appreciate all of you for watching our broadcast here, the post-game show to follow here. Disappointing if you're an Oak Ridge fan, but not a region ball game, as I said. They've got one next week against Clinton. McMinn County celebrating down there, and they should. They really, I think, outplayed the Wildcats throughout the course of the game. 14-3 is our final score. We'll be back to start our post-game show in 3 minutes. Welcome back once again to McMinn County High School, where the news is not good if you're an Oak Ridge fan. It's great if you're a Cherokee fan. Final score of the ball game: McMinn County knocks off the Wildcats 14-3. 14-3. That's the final score. In a minute, we'll go down to the field to get the reaction of, I guess, Rusty Parton, who is the acting head coach of the Wildcats. And I'm going to be eager to find out exactly some of the ramifications. And I didn't want to be joking. We just lost the ball game. I was going to say ramifications of Coach Rang getting ejected from the game. And I'd like to kind of know why he got ejected, and a lot of questions. Hopefully, I know Coach Parton's going to be put in a tough situation to have to do this interview. I'm looking down there. I do not see Alex Myers. If y'all could help me spot Alex down on the field, and hopefully we'll go to him. Mark and Sean will have the final statistics as well. And let me see here. I'm looking. 14-3 is our final score. We appreciate all of our sponsors and you watching our broadcast or listening to us on FM 92.7. We will travel to Clinton to take on the Dragons. The Dragons are 2-3 on the year. The Wildcats will enter the game at 3-1. It is a region ball game, so it is an important game. We'll hope you'll come out and support the Wildcats next Friday in Dragonland. I still cannot see Alex. He needs to Coach Parton's not used to doing this, so most likely he's not expecting to do this, so he might have walked off a bit. And, the two oldest guys up in the booth are trying to see Alex. We need to get Josh up here to kind of spot him. I just do not see him. And this is bad radio, but we do appreciate you listening to us. And guys, 14-3 is the final score. That's a pretty smart idea. Josh is now zooming in. I'm looking for one of our camera guys. That's always an easy way to spot it. And he's on the 14-yard line. Okay. Has he got a person ready to interview?
Sure does.
He does. Let's go down.
Alex Myers down here on the field now with Rusty Parton. Rusty, obviously you've coached for decades around East Tennessee. We're on staff last year. You're not a new guy around this team. These guys know you. You know them, their personalities. That's got to come into effect in a game like tonight. First off, before we talk about what happened in the second half, just your overall thoughts on the game, the team's performance. It's always tough when you come down here, and that was no different tonight.
Yeah, I think we got a slow start on defense, and Coach Hawkins did a good job fixing that and putting us in good situations. But, offensively, and Coach Rang will reaffirm this, we're not executing. We're not blocking and running the ball well. We're not executing in the passing game, and we've got a lot of talent to not be doing those things. And this could be a good moment for us that we go and go back to work, and Coach will get us a good plan and get us back together, and we'll work hard and we'll bounce back from this.
To address the elephant in the room, Coach Rang, I think late in the third quarter, early in the fourth quarter, there was something happened. There was several sideline warnings and violations. I think those are personal fouls. So was that the reason, or was there an argument? What happened? Can you walk us through? I don't want, let's not get anybody in trouble, but can you kind of talk through the people that weren't here, kind of what happened during that time period?
Well, it doesn't matter who you get called on. Once the third one happens, it's on the head coach. And what I believe happened is we had two called prior, and one was called on Coach Rang, another assistant coach. And under our understanding of the rule, when the play is non-imminent, we were in between plays, the coach can come out on the field. And so that was where Coach Rang was at. He thought that was an appropriate time for him to be on the field, but the refs interpreted it that he was on the field, and that was the third personal foul and kicking him out. And
the last thing I'll touch on that is, do you know the ramifications? Will he have to sit out for the first half? Will he be eligible to be on the sideline from play one? Do you know how that works?
Well, I think what we'll probably do is Coach Gaddis is going to call and check and find out what we're going to do and what we need to do to get him back. And so I'll probably just push that to Coach Gaddis and let him handle that.
Your senior leaders, Brandon Hayward, Price Davis, Izzy Mitchell, a couple of linemen, they were very vocal. You as the sort of acting head coach at the end, you guys had some words as a staff towards the team, but a lot of that meeting was player-led. How important is that? Do you guys rally around each other during really your first sort of big adversity moment of the year?
Yeah, we got a good group of kids, and they've won together growing up, and so they've been in this, and they've been in this environment. Last year we won down here in a real tight game, and they fought, but we just didn't have a few little plays. We catch the post late, and that's going to be a score. We get on 3rd and long, we get them stopped, and we're probably going to punch it in there and go ahead. But the kids fought hard. We just got to coach them better and improve.
Coach Rusty Parton with us. Last question, and I'll let you get back to your team. I appreciate you giving us some time here. What do you guys have to do to get refocused and get ready for a big game, region game next week?
Well, as long as I've been around here, I don't think it's going to be hard for us to refocus. And so I think the history with that, and I do. I grew up in East Tennessee, and I know that's a big game, and it's probably the best time for us because our kids are going to come out and get excited and practice hard.
All right, thank you so much, Coach.
Thanks, buddy.
We're going to keep it right here. Interviewing players after a loss is never fun. It's never fun for us to do it, but it's even less fun for the players. That being said, we're going to talk to Brandon Hayward just a quick moment because he was one of the vocal leaders at the end of that. Brandon, I appreciate it. We won't keep you long. I know it's tough, never fun to talk after a win, but I pointed you out because last year, even as a junior, you were leading after games, after losses, after wins in the huddles. You've been that leader again this year as a senior. Tell me what you told that team before Coach Parton never said a word. Tell me what you told those guys at the end.
It was just a lot of bickering around and a lot of blaming. So one thing we do on Thursdays when this pastor come, his name Pastor Joseph. When he come, he says this thing called "Not I, not me, team." We do that 3 times. Well, he usually do it once, but I do it 3 times so my players can get the understanding that we can't blame one person for a game, 2 people for a game, 5 people for a game. We got to blame each other, coaching staff included. You got to blame everything. I mean, we had mistakes, too, that we could have fixed at crucial moments when we was on the goal line. So plays like that, we could have got 3 points on the board, went back on the goal line, got 3 points on the board, we would have been up 2 points before they would have scored the long one. Adversity would have been different, but things went how it went. I just try to keep my boys humble and keep them heads up so they can know what the end goal is and that this is not the end of the journey.
Yeah, and this is not a surprise for you guys to come down here and sort of things maybe seem against you a little bit. You guys know as a staff, as players, you know the history of this rivalry. You know what happened last year. This is not a surprise that it was a tough game. Tough way to lose, tough to lose at any time, but if you're going to lose, it's great to not lose a region game. That being said, when you fast forward the tape, you look ahead to next week, you can't mess around. You can't sulk on this too much. You've got a huge game. Coach Parton thinks it's a good time for this loss to come because it won't take you guys long to refocus. For those fans at home thinking, how are they going to get ready for Clinton, what's your message to them?
Don't give up on us, man. We've been working this year. It's going to be different. This game don't determine us. We still 3-1. We got a winning record, and next week we're going to bring it back and keep that streak going against the Clinton Dragons.
All right, thank you so much, Brandon.
Yes,
Take it easy.
Thank you.
David, I'm going to send things back up to you, and it actually looks like it's Josh and Mike. Guys, back up to you.
Welcome back to McMinn County High School. I'm Josh Frazier, where the Oak Ridge Wildcats have lost a tough one to McMinn County 14-3 in what turned out to be a wild second half. Mike, your thoughts?
A lot of penalties. That's my biggest thought. I'm really disappointed. I don't really try to stay on the officials. That's not what I do. But this is one of the worst officiated games I've witnessed in a long time. And, I feel like a sore-tailed cat right now. It's hard to sit down.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with you on the officiating there, especially at the beginning of the second half when Coach Rain got tossed out of the game. That was quite a difference maker for Oak Ridge, as their leader, their head coach, is now gone for the second half. And if I understand correctly, he'll be gone for next week as well, part of the ramifications, if you will, of this whole situation. But I don't think we can blame everything on the refs. There was a lot of drop passes, a lot of incomplete passes on some balls that could have been caught. Overall, I think McMinn's style of play, it kept the offense off. They weren't able to get a rhythm going. Their momentum stopped for 4 and 5 minutes at a time. And ultimately,
every time we got started good, Josh, we got a penalty.
Absolutely, that too. I mean, it was just what a game, right?
Yeah.
I said there was a game earlier. I came in and said, what a game, totally different connotation this week with the officiating and the long drawn-on drives by McMinn. It's almost impossible to overcome that, especially when you don't even have your head coach in the game, Mike.
Yeah, it's been a tough night for the Wildcats, and they played so hard all night long. They gave it all they had. But Cherokee's really tough, especially up front. You know, those big guys up front did a good job for them, holding us out defensively, and then their defensive back, they were right on top of our defenders a lot of the time. I'm not throwing anything away from my receivers. They had a rough night, Josh. They really did. And a lot of it give the Cherokees credit because they were right there and they broke up a lot of those passes. But there were some they should have had too, and it's just one of those nights and things just don't go quite right. The good part is this is not a regional ball game. It's not going to cost us as far as the playoffs go. Next week when we take on the Clinton Dragons over there, that is a big game. And I hope we get a lot of fans come out next Friday night at Clinton, and hopefully we can put it on the Dragons.
Right. I think Oak Ridge will definitely be ready to bounce back from this, especially against one of the biggest rivals they have and in one of the biggest games they'll probably have of the season. Oak Ridge will definitely look to bounce back, and I think they will. They'll be a little extra motivated for next week to bounce back from this interesting loss, I guess you could say.
Good point, Josh. Good job. Okay, we're going to send it over now to Mark Hayes for the final statistics.
Thank you very much, Mike. Thank you.
Oak Ridge loses tonight, as Mike said, by a final score of 14-3 to the McMinn County Cherokees. Leading rusher for the Wildcats was Jarvis Dozier. He had 20 carries for 105 yards. His long was 18. He averaged 5.3 yards per carry. Will Presley had a 6-yard carry, and then Blaine Stansberry had 5 carries, netting minus 12 yards. So as a team, the Wildcats accumulated 99 yards on the ground on 26 carries. That's an average of 3.8 yards per carry. Through the air, Wildcat quarterback Blaine Stansberry, he was 15 of 28 for 109 yards. He did have 1 interception on the night. Receiving for the Wildcats, Brendan Hayward had 3 receptions for 43 yards. Alamani Rembert had 33 yards on 6 receptions. Jarvis Dozier, 2 receptions for 14 yards. Valon Henderson had a 10-yard reception. Will Presley, 2 receptions for 7 yards. And Vashon Knowles had a 2-yard reception. As a team, the Wildcats, as I said, 99 yards on the ground on 26 carries. That had 109 yards through the air on 15 receptions for a total offense tonight of 208 yards. Wildcats had 11 first downs in the ballgame. They were penalized 8 times for 65 yards. Now looking at McMinn County, they were led on the ground by Jacob Sharp. He had 13 carries for 107 yards. His long was that long 75-yard backbreaker that late in the game. Tylon White had 6 carries for 47 yards. Brady Mullins, 7 carries for 29 yards. Luke Sliger had 21 yards on 7 carries, and Jakarin Dyer had 1 yard on a single carry. So as a team, McMinn County had 205 yards on the ground on 44 rushes, that is. They averaged 4.7 yards per carry. Through the air, they didn't do much. They were 1 of 2. Brady Mullins, their quarterback, 1 of 2 for 5 yards. No interceptions. Receiving the 1 reception was Jacob Sharp for 5 yards. So as a team, McMinn County had 205 yards on the ground on 44 carries. They had 5 yards through the air on 1 reception for a total offense tonight of 210 yards. McMinn County earned 12 first downs in the ball game. They were penalized 6 times for 70 yards. Time of possession, Oak Ridge had the ball 20 minutes and 10 seconds. McMinn County 27 minutes and 50 seconds. Again, this is Mark Hayes, where Oak Ridge falls to McMinn County tonight by a score of 14-3, and we'll send it back to the station for the we'll send it back to Alex.
Come on, Mark, you got to give me, I've talked a lot tonight, but I haven't talked enough, apparently. So I'm just kidding. Thank you, Mark, for those stats. Josh, your final thoughts on this? It was a rough game. It was a tough game. But, again, thankfully for Oak Ridge, it's non-region. Your final thoughts quickly.
A rough game is right, Alex. It was definitely a tough one, both with officiating, a lack of a head coach, and just no momentum to get anything going in the first or the second half. I think Oak Ridge is going to bounce back strong against Clinton. It's a big game. It's a region game, a rivalry game. And like I said earlier, they've got a lot of extra motivation to come back for next week and finish it off with a win.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you. I'll let David say thank yous to everybody because he knows the name better than I do. I don't want to forget anybody. But, yeah, my last thoughts, David, I think Coach Parton was on to something. You never want to lose, but if there's a time for a loss like this to happen, this is one that could linger and it could sting. If there's a time for it to happen, perhaps it is the week before Clinton, because you know that your fans, your students at school in the hallways, and these players are immediately shifting to that's a big game. We've got to be up for it, and I don't think there'll be a lingering factor. Rough game, but, hey, it's non-region, 3-1 on the season, a lot of football to play.
Most definitely. I think I told you this. I thought this could have been a trap game. Obviously, you've got Clinton next week, and you know how much they want to play them. We watched Clinton play yesterday. They got beat in their game by the Pal Panthers. So, you're bound to have a little letdown. But what I thought happened in this game, I just thought that McMinn County was the more physical team. I think they just really knocked us around. They did great work on defense. And I just thought the physical side of it was the factor in the ball game. I mean, and they just defended so well in the secondary. Give credit to the offensive line, though. I thought Blaine had some time to throw. We had some drops. But for the most part, they just covered so well down the field, and they never really could get off on defense. So, I mean, it's one of those things. You lose the ball game, but like you said, it's not a region ball game. It is only the fourth game of the year. I mean, it's the fourth game of the year. I wouldn't be surprised if we're not back here again sometime in November or they're up at our place. And let's close it out here. I know we got to get rolling back home. I appreciate our camera personnel, John Ulrich. John, did you have a good time on the sideline?
Yeah, David, it was fun.
That's John. We appreciate him. We appreciate Josh Frazier. Josh?
It's an absolute blast tonight, David.
Caleb Riker along with Kasim Robinson up top. Brian Bennett's been our engineer at the station. Mark and Shauna Hayes, our statistician. Alex Myers here with me as well. Our next broadcast of Oak Ridge High School football will be coming up this Friday as the Wildcats travel over to Clinton to take on the Clinton Dragons in what is a region ball game at Clinton. For all the people I mentioned before, our final score here from McMinn County High School. The Cherokees knock off the Wildcats 14-3. Until next week, this is David Clary saying so long, everybody.